Chapter 1493. Big Sister Qin Yun is holding the nine-sun divine hammer. He looked at He Yin Yun, who is struggling on the ground, and said with smile, "Your saint talisman is not very strong. It actually failed to kill you. Don't kill me. You can make me do anything. Just let me be your dog. I come from sacred desolate. I have sacred spirit's sacred body. I can sign soul contract with you." He Yin Yun begged in despair. "Please help me. Let me be your dog." He Yin Yun is extremely afraid of death. It is not easy for him to live until now. Now is the great era. It is a great opportunity to increase cultivation. As long as he completes his mission in Immortal Desolate, after returning to Sacred Desolate, he will have a meteoric rise. "Dog, a guy like you is not worthy to be my dog. I won't send you off." Qin Yun vigorously smashed the hammer down on He Yin Yun's body. With a loud explosion sound, He Yin Yun's body exploded into sparks. The inside of the sun altar is still very sturdy. After Qin Yun completely swallowed the flame released by the Saint Talisman, he walked outside. Xiaohua is outside. His puppet avatar's injuries are not light. It was not injured by someone else. Rather, it was injured by the shockwave from the intense battle just now. "Old Xiao, I am sorry." Qin Yun laughed. "It's fine to be able to see his sun altar being destroyed at close range. It is worth it," Xiaohua said with a smile. His puppet avatar was damaged mainly because it was injured by Qin Yun's power. All the people inside the villa are dead. They all wanted to capture Qin Yun together. Intense flames are still spreading inside the villa. Hot air is rising to the sky. From a distance, this place looks like it is being distorted. Qin Yun dismantled the last 3 layers of the altar and placed them inside the 9-sun divine soul. This time, he tore apart a complete sun altar. 9-sun divine hammer is truly useful. It is simply a sharp tool for dismantling altars. Qin Yun looked at the hammer in his hand. It is still in an awakened state. After dismantling the sun altar, he obtained a box of core fragments. There are more than 1,000 of them. "Old Xiao, let's go," Qin Yun said. Qin Yun took out the magic mirror and contacted Xiao Yuanmei. He gave Xiao Yuanmei a magic mirror before. It is specially refined by him. They can communicate within a short distance. "Yuanmei, where are you?" Qin Yun said. "You better find a place far away from the crowd." "Brother, are you injured?" Xiao Yuanmei asked. "Of course not. Those guys can't injure me. I destroyed the altar," Qin Yun said with a smile. "Very good." Xiao Yuanmei is very happy, then told Qin Yun a direction and told him to go there. Qin Yun and the injured Xiao Hua immediately left the villa. When they arrived at the city outside, it was already empty and many buildings had collapsed. After Xiao Hua and Qin Yun left the city, they ran for less than an hour and saw Xiao Yuanmei and the others. "Grandfather, Xiao Yun." When Xiao Yingying saw that Qin Yun and Xiao Hua had returned, she felt a lot more at ease. "Everything is fine. Let's go," Qin Yun said with a smile. Xiao Qianqian did not dare to speak. She had never imagined that this young boy in front of her was actually that legendary great demon. Now, he had even destroyed a sun altar. There were still many people watching from the outside of Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City. They wanted to wait for the flames to scatter, see if the altar at the very bottom had been torn down. Qin Yun's group left Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City and left Scarlet Slaughter Swamp. After they left for more than an hour, Qin Yun said with frown, "Someone is following us." He turned his head and saw He Shu and Bai Zhe, these 2 formidable inscription beasts. "Little brother, wait." He Shu promptly shouted, "You guys are really fast. Luckily, this rat's nose is very sensitive. It can find you." Bai Zhe said with a smile. "2 friends, what's the matter?" Qin Yun asked. "Nothing. We just want to make friends with you and exchange some inscription techniques with you." He Shu said. "Who are they?" Xiao Yuanmei asked in low voice. "These 2 friends are very formidable inscription beasts." Xiao Hua introduced He Shu and Bai Zhe to Xiao Yingying and the others. Xiao Yuanmei and the other 2 women are very shocked to find out that these are formidable heavenly rune beasts and sun rune beasts. "Don't be afraid. We won't eat people," He Shu said. "I'm not tasty at all. My flesh is very sour. You guys definitely won't like it." Xiao Yuanmei giggled and said. This caused He Shu and Bai Zhe to laugh. Little brother, don't tell me you are really just a youngster? Bai Zhe curiously asked. Of course not. Xiao Yuemei spoke. She placed her hand on Qin Yun's back, making him return to his tall and handsome appearance. Little girl, your ability is truly brilliant, Bai Zhe said with a smile. I also have transformation ability, but I can only transform into myself. I cannot transform into others. He Shu and Bai Zhe can see that Xiao Yuemei's ability is very strong. Xiao Yuemei rolled her eyes and said with a smile, He Shu and Bai Zhe, do you want to learn inscription techniques from my brother? How about this? You join my brother's inscription gate. To be honest, I am also an inscription master. Moreover, I am also the great elder and vice sect master of the inscription gate. If you join the inscription gate, I will confer you the title of left and right protectors. Really? He Shu very happily said, I am very interested in human sex. I have been wanting to join for a long time. My brother is the sect master, but normally he doesn't care about anything. If you join my inscription gate, you will be able to learn many good runes and totems. Xiao Yuemei said with charming smile. All right. He Shu and Bai Zhe became very excited hearing this and immediately agreed. They believed that the inscription gate must be a very large sect. Otherwise, it would be impossible for them to nurture a dreadful sect master like Qin Yun, who can tear down 2 altars. They have seen Qin Yun's superb inscription technique, so now they yearn for the inscription gate even more. Originally, Qin Yun wanted to refuse, but Xiao Yuemei secretly pinched him. It is true that Qin Yun is the sect master of the inscription gate, but the inscription gate is now in a state of disunity. They don't even have a sect. Moreover, he has not gathered disciples of the inscription gate for many years. Moreover, the inscription gate doesn't have any disciples, only elders like Yu Shutian, Jin Linglong, and other inscription masters. As soon as they entered the inscription gate, they were conferred the title of elder by Xiao Yuemei. Xiao Hua is very curious about what kind of inscription gate is. In his imagination, it must be a very high and mighty existence. All right, sign a contract with me. Pledge loyalty to my inscription gate. Xiao Yuemei took out 2 contract talismans. Xiao Hua said with a smile, Congratulations to the 2 of you for joining Little Brother's inscription gate. Your future prospects will be limitless. He Shu and Bai Zhe thought about how they can learn superb inscription technique from Qin Yun and became very happy. After signing the contract, Xiao Yuemei proudly smiled and said, Don't call me Grand Elder or Vice Sect Master from now on. Just call me Big Sister Leader. Big Sister Leader, where is our inscription gate? He Shu curiously asked. Far away from the distant star. Xiao Yuemei said with a smile. Relax, our inscription gate's headquarters is very cool and awesome. You will know later. The reason why He Shu and Bai Zhe believe that the inscription gate is very awesome is mainly because of Qin Yun. We should go out first. Qin Yun said. Xiao He, Xiao Bai, you should be invincible existences in the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp, right? Xiao Yuemei asked. Then did you hoard some delicious food? Ordinary divine fruits are useless to us. We can grow mainly because of the sacred infant fruit, He Shu said. Our sacred infant fruit is also very special. Bai Zhe said, The Scarlet Slaughter Swamp is our cradle. We are absolutely safe here, but it is too boring here. So we want to go out and take a look and learn more human knowledge. Don't worry, if you follow me, I guarantee that you will learn a lot. Xiao Yuemei giggled and said, Big sister, how many disciples does our inscription gate have? Bai Zhe asked. Less than 10. Xiao Yuemei said. How come there are so few? He Shu thought that he misheard. Aren't we very powerful? Why are there so few people? Bai Zhe is also very surprised. Our inscription gate specializes in inscription. We are very powerful. Xiao Yuemei said with mischievous smile. We will not disappoint you. Believe in Big Sister. He Shu and Bai Zhe now feel as if they have been tricked into boarding a pirate ship. Xiao Yuemei can see that their eyes are filled with disappointment, so she promptly stopped. Xiao Hua and Xiao Yingying also stopped. They don't know what Xiao Yuemei wants to do. Xiao Hua can also see that the inscription gate is a trap. Xiao Yuemei took out a small mirror took out a talisman paper, and started shining it on the mirror. Suddenly, many runes appeared on the talisman paper. In just a few breaths, a talisman has been crafted. This is the ability of Gemini Heavenly Rune. It was refined into Xiao Yuemei's small mirror. After Xiao Yuemei finished crafting the talisman, she casually threw it. The talisman exploded with intense thunder and fire. Xiao Hua and He Shu are both dumbstruck looking at this scene. Xiao Yuemei only used a small mirror to quickly craft Immortal Talisman. Although its might is not very strong, the time needed to craft it is very short. In the future, she will surely be able to craft very strong Immortal Talisman using this kind of method. Xiao Yuemei said with charming smile, "Did you see? This is just something I casually made. If I had more powerful talisman paper, I would have spent a bit more time crafting even stronger Immortal Talisman." Big Sister is truly awesome. He Shu's face revealed a warm smile. Big Sister, will we be able to master this kind of skill in the future? Bai Zhe asked with smile. Of course we can, Xiao Yuemei said with smile. Xiao Hua is also very much looking forward to it. He asked, Miss Yuemei, does the inscription gate still accept people? I want to join. Your aptitude is a bit lacking. If you join, you can only be an outer sect disciple. Are you willing? Xiao Yuemei said with smile. Then forget it. I will continue to be the Xiao family master. Xiao Hua said with smile. He thought that he would be able to become an elder or protector. He is a grand immortal emperor, yet he is only an outer sect disciple. This caused him to be very disappointed. How about this? You become an outer sect elder. You will be in charge of outer sect matters. But your immortal emperor true body must come. Xiao Yuemei said again. Xiao Hua said with smile, my true body is already on the way. After we leave Scarlet Slaughter Swamp, we will meet my immortal emperor true body. All right, then we will quickly leave. Xiao Yuemei is very happy because she has tricked an immortal emperor into joining them. After they flew for a while, they suddenly discovered a large group of people in a muddy area ahead. Chapter 1494. 1494, Chapter 1494, Chapter 1494. Eating Mountain, there are more than 10 people from Heavenly Tiger Planet. Xiao Zhongjie and those Heavenly Tiger Planet people are chatting and laughing while the third brother has a bitter expression. Logically speaking, the relationship between the Heavenly Tiger Planet's people and the Xiao family's disciples should be very bad. But now they were walking together. Heavenly Tiger Planet people also discovered Xiao Hua and others and immediately rushed over. Grandfather, why are you here? Xiao Zhongjie saw Xiao Hua and asked in shock, are you seriously injured? Xiao Hua nodded his head. His expression is somewhat unsightly. He said coldly, why are you two together with those guys? Xiao Hua thoroughly understands the group of Heavenly Tiger Planet bandits. He has no good impression of them. You are Xiao Hua's puppet avatar? A middle-aged man from the Heavenly Tiger Planet, carrying a large saber, chuckled and said, the Xiao family's patriarch is right in front of me. However, he is a weak puppet avatar. I feel that I can kill him with one slash. Big brother, he is my grandfather. Give me some face and don't act recklessly. Xiao Zhongjie said worriedly. The burly man from Heavenly Tiger Planet looked at Xiao Zhongjie and OL3 and laughed. The two of you have already killed your OL4, OL6, and OL2. It's not a big deal to kill your grandfather, right? Xiao Zhongjie and the third brother's expression changed. Xiao Hua is very calm because he understands his grandchildren very well. Xiao Yingying is very sad because her brothers who were usually together with her are all dead. Grandfather, please listen to our explanation, Xiao Zhongjie promptly said. The Heavenly Tiger Planet man laughed and said, explanation, my ass. Didn't you two agree to leave Xiao family and return to Heavenly Tiger Planet with us? Why are you afraid of this old man? You really disappoint me, Xiao Hua said in low voice. Xiao Hua, you are the patriarch of Xiao family. You must have many Xiao family runes and totems. Pass them to us, and you can leave safely. The Heavenly Tiger Planet man looked at Xiao Yingying and said again, also, make that little girl hand over the holy infant fruit. There were more than 10 people on Heavenly Tiger Star's side, and they were all very strong Earth Immortals. Their equipment was also very strong. They believed that among Qin Yun's group, only Xiao Hua was very strong. However, Xiao Hua was seriously injured, so they were not afraid at all. Everyone knew that the people from Heavenly Tiger Planet were a bunch of ferocious bandits. What they were doing now was indeed like robbers. Qin Yun had expended quite a bit of his energy, so it would indeed be quite tiring for him to fight. However, with Wizard and Black Rat around, they were very calm. Fellow from Heavenly Tiger Planet, aren't you afraid of offending our Xiao clan? Xiao Hua said in a deep voice. This time, he had used a puppet clone to enter the holy city of slaughter, but he had suffered a bellyful of vexation. He also knew the status of their Xiao family in the eyes of those great powers. Your Xiao family is nothing. Our Heavenly Tiger Star has so many immortal emperors. We are not afraid of your Xiao clan. The middle-aged man from the Heavenly Tiger Star laughed and said, Xiao Hua, quickly hand over the runes and totems. Otherwise, your two granddaughters will suffer a very miserable fate. Qin Yun looked at Bai Zhe and Xiao Yuanmei and asked, I'm a bit tired. Who wants to go up? I'll go. Black Rat said, Let me go. Bai Zhe said with a smile. Just as he walked out, Xiao Yuanmei blocked his way. Let me go. I am the big sister. Let me show you a few moves. Xiao Yuanmei said with a smile. Although I'm not a battle type, I am more than enough to deal with these little bandits. Heavenly Tiger Star's people all find this very funny. They can't see how strong Bai Zhe is. And in their eyes, Xiao Yuanmei is just a little girl, yet she is actually fighting to deal with them. Xiao Yuanmei took out a small dagger and walked towards the large man from Heavenly Tiger Star. She delicately shouted, Just now you said you wanted to attack Sister Ying, right? Little girl, not only I want to attack them, I also want to attack you. Little girl, you are quite pretty, ha ha. The large man from Heavenly Tiger Star did not put Xiao Yuanmei in his eyes at all. He laughed loudly and extended his hand to grab Xiao Yuanmei's chest. After Xiao Yuanmei dodged, she swiftly and violently waved the small dagger in her hand, cutting off the large man's arm from his armpit. Heavenly Tiger Star's people turned pale with fright. It must be known that the large man's arm is covered in armor, yet it was so easily cut off by a little girl. You! The large man shouted in alarm and anger. He did not even finish speaking as a bloody hole appeared on his forehead. Xiao Yuanmei's dagger, under the control of her mental power, pierced through the large man's head in a flash. That dagger is not an ordinary weapon. Qin Yun can also see this. He is somewhat surprised that Xiao Yuanmei can control such a powerful weapon. Xiao Qianqian also promptly covered Xiao Yingying's eyes, not letting her see this kind of bloody scene. She is also incomparably shocked in her heart, because this little girl, Xiao Yuanmei, can kill people without blinking an eye. Xiao Yuanmei used her mental power to control the dagger and quickly pierce through. In the blink of an eye, the dagger pierced through the heads of several large men from Heavenly Tiger Star and killed them. Even Xiao Hua's eyes are wide open looking at this scene. The delicate and pretty little girl before him actually has such dreadful strength. Dealing with those tyrannical Earth Immortals of Heavenly Tiger Star is as easy as kneading mud. Quickly run. Just as a middle-aged man from Heavenly Tiger Star screamed in fear, he was stabbed to death by the dagger. The remaining few large men began fleeing in disorder, but their speed is not as fast as the dagger. The dagger is like a beam of light. It pierced through very quickly. Xiao Yuanmei's control has reached perfection. It can easily pierce through those armor and kill the enemy. Very soon, all the people from Heavenly Tiger Star have been killed by Xiao Yuanmei. Xiao Zhongjie is so scared that his legs are trembling. He knows that Xiao Yuanmei was sent by Xiao Hua to protect Xiao Yingying. However, he did not know that this little girl's strength is so dreadful. Third brother, fifth brother, come in by yourselves. Xiao Hua coldly took out a black storage bag and said, I want to capture you and bring you back for punishment. At this moment, Xiao Yuanmei's dagger is floating in the air, as if it will fly out at any moment. The two grandchildren are scared silly. They rolled and crawled towards Xiao Hua and entered the black storage bag. Big sister, you are so awesome, Hey Shu said with a smile. How can that dagger be so powerful? It can easily pierce through those armors. Bai Zhe curiously asked. Secret. Xiao Yuanmei mischievously laughed and said, I refined it myself. I will also teach you how to refine it later. Qingyun did not say anything. Xiao Yuanmei once followed Yu Shutian to the starry sky. She must have found many good things. Xiao Hua is willing to join the inscription gate and become an outer sect elder. Later on, he found out that the inscription gate doesn't have any outer sect disciples. His position as an outer sect elder is just a title. Hey Shu, Bai Zhe and Xiao Hua very much want to learn Xiao Yuanmei's ability to craft immortal talismans by just using a mirror. Therefore, they are very willing to join the inscription gate. Finally, they left the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp. They saw Xiao Hua's immortal emperor body. After Xiao Hua's immortal emperor body arrived, he signed a soul contract with Xiao Yuanmei and joined the inscription gate. Sect Master, Yingying's illness is not completely cured. I am really worried that she will relapse, Xiao Hua said with sigh. Qin Yun caressed Xiao Yingying's face and said with smile, I have thought of a way to help Sister Yingying overcome that evil power. Sister Yingying, I will refine a special soul body into your body. It will allow you to obtain a formidable power. You can use that power to suppress that evil power. Thank you, big brother Xiao Yun, Xiao Yingying said with sweet smile. She now knows that Qin Yun is much older than her. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda and entered with Xiao Yuanmei. The two of them cooperated and used Star Spirit to refine an overwhelming righteous martial spirit. Then he refined a martial spirit into Xiao Yingying's body and taught her how to use that power. Sect Master, thank you so much, Xiao Hua said with a smile. You are welcome. Qin Yun laughed. Old Xiao, quickly go back. You must have a lot of things to take care of. Xiao Hua brought Xiao Yingying and Xiao Qianqian back to Xiao family. Qin Yun took out the compass, looked at the direction of the floating cloud heavenly seal, and said, Let's return to Heavenly Wind God Mountain first. Bai Zhe also followed Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei towards Heavenly Wind God Mountain. Heavenly Wind God Mountain is not far from the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp. Qin Yun and the others arrived very quickly. What caused Qin Yun to be amazed is that Bai Zhe can actually enter Heavenly Wind God Mountain. Although we are Tao immortals, we can enter Earth immortal-level divine mountains. This is the advantage of us heavenly rune beasts and sun rune beasts, Bai Zhe said with a smile. Xiao Yuanmei said with mischievous laugh, Xiao He, I will bring you to attack other divine mountains in the future. Heavenly Tiger Star, Xian family, Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate, Long family. Those scoundrels have occupied many good Earth immortal-level divine mountains. All right, let's do it as soon as possible. We also hate those guys, Bai Zhe said. Back when they were in Holy City's palace, they were angered to the extreme. Originally, Sun Rune Beasts and Heavenly Rune Beasts were the overlords of their own holy lands that basically did not care about those divine mountains. But now, Xiao Yuanmei has roped in these two powerful little brothers and let them push the mountain. This is a very easy matter for them. After arriving at the summit, Qin Yun shouted, Xiao Lu, quickly come out. Lu Jian has been on the mountain all along. He immediately ran out and asked, Uncle, you returned from Scarlet Slaughter Holy City so quickly? Did it go smoothly? Very smoothly, Qin Yun said with a smile. Oh, that's right. What about Old Mountain? Just as he finished speaking, the dumbass mountain god drilled his head out of the ground. Xiao Yuanmei let out a cry in fright. I am invincible. After the mountain god drilled his head out, he laughed loudly and said, Stand firm. I'm about to move. What? Qin Yun suddenly sensed that Heavenly Wind God Mountain is moving. Xiao Yuanmei very excitedly said, Heavenly Wind God Mountain is moving. Moreover, its speed is very fast. A divine mountain that can move. Very awesome. Old Mountain, where are you going? Qin Yun is also very amazed. He finally feels that this mountain god is somewhat useful. I want to eat a mountain. Mountain god laughed loudly and yelled, I want to be invincible. Chapter 1495. The Divine Mountains are also in a frenzy. It could be said that this Tian Foam God Mountain was the mountain god's body. If he wanted to become stronger, he had to make the Tian Foam God Mountain evolve continuously and become even more powerful. At that moment, the mountain god was controlling Tian Foam God Mountain to move. The God Mountain was huge, but it wasn't slow at all. It was like a ship sailing in the sea, very stable. "Where are we going?" Xiao Yuanmei asked. "I want to eat mountains." The mountain god shouted, "Where can I eat mountains nearby?" Qin Yin looked at Lu Jiayin and said, "Little Lu, those fellows from the heavenly tiger planet occupied quite a few pretty good divine mountains in the Earth Prefecture, right? Bring old Shan to eat." "Okay." Lu Jiayin quickly pointed to the location and guided the mountain god to control the Tian Foam God Mountain to run on flat ground. Qin Yin secretly looked forward to the evolution of the Heaven Wind God Mountain because Shimen Dazhuang previously said that as long as the divine mountain evolved, it would bear divine fruits. Qin Yin is now a 9th layer Earth Immortal. If he can bear divine fruit, he will be able to quickly become a Dao Immortal after eating it. The Earth Province was where the Earth Immortals, Dao Immortals, and Golden Immortals lived. Qin Yin needs to break through quickly. Only by doing so can he resist the other realm factions, Immortals and Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate. At night, Qin Yin took out the floating cloud pagoda and entered it with Xiao Yuanmei. He Shu and Bai Zhe were outside listening to Lu Jiayin's boast. Lu Jiayin doesn't know that Black Rat Bai Zhe are two powerful inscription beasts. Otherwise, he would not have dared to act so recklessly. Lu Jiayin had traveled to Jianghu for many years, so he knew many things. The Black Rat and Bai Zhe were both very curious about the affairs of humans. Because the dumbass mountain god was from a previous era, he was very curious about the current era and was also fascinated by the story. The Tian Foam God Mountain moved quickly in the night, and it even crossed a large river. Many people saw it along the way. Seeing a huge divine mountain moving, those people all shouted in fright. Quite a few people even followed the heavenly wind divine mountain, wanting to see where this divine mountain was going. Qin Yin and Xiao Yuanmei are in the 20th floor of the floating cloud pagoda, fiddling with the star god altar. This little sun altar is Big Sister Star God's altar. She transformed it into this. Xiao Yuanmei is very curious. She looked around the small white altar. Xiao Yuanmei and Qin Yin are constantly calling out to Star God. They're very much looking forward to Star God's reply. When Qin Yin attacked Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City, he killed many powerful Earth Immortals and once again collected a batch of remnant souls. Now his stock of departed souls is increasing. In the middle of the night, the altar finally reacted. The Star God did not appear, but her voice could be heard. "Xiao Yun, is there something urgent?" The Star God asked. "I just found a relatively safe place to hide. Only then did I have the chance to answer you." "Big Sister Star God, I am Yuanmei." Xiao Yuanmei hastily shouted. "How are things on your side? Is it very dangerous?" "Yuanmei, you and little Yun are together." The Star God laughed. "You little girl, I finally heard your voice. The Star God altar you Shutian and others found is rather ancient and dilapidated, so it takes a very long time before they can perform a sacrifice. Moreover, you Shutian and others have never seen the appearance of a Star God before. It is also because the Star God altar is too inferior. Big Sister Star God, I have successfully dismantled the Sun altar. Moreover, it is a complete 18 layers one." Qin Yin said with mischievous smile. So fast. Very good." Star God giggled and said, "Xiao Yun, this is a very big, pleasant surprise. If I were an immortal desolate, I would have kissed you. When I attacked the altar, I encountered a divine desolate puppet warrior. It was even controlled by an elder of Dao Yang divine sect. He knows that I have 9 Sun divine hammer." Qin Yin explained the situation. "It doesn't matter. Don't be afraid of them," Star God said with smile. "Immortal Desolate is so big, it won't be easy for them to kill you. I'm actually not afraid of them. I am worried about you," Qin Yin said with sigh. Another Nine Sun sect is going all out to kill Big Sister Star God. Star God said with smile. What are you afraid of? They can't do anything to me. Dao Yang Divine Sect has so many experts. Moreover, they sent so many people to kill me. Aren't I still fine now? I will first perform death sacrifice. Qin Yin took out a very large black pearl. It is a large amount of remnant souls he collected. He placed the pearl on the small altar. The black pearl trembled. The black remnant souls inside suddenly disappeared. All of them drilled into the altar. The white altar released waves of spatial fluctuations, transmitting the sacrificial power to the divine desolate, allowing the star god to absorb it. So many, Star God said in amazement. Are there many experts from immortal desolate? Those guys delivered themselves to my door. Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Yun, my situation hasn't stabilized yet, so I can't give you anything for the time being. Wait until I find a safe place to hide, then I'll give you something good. The star god smiled and said, the sacrifice you gave me this time is a great supplement. I might be able to break through. Really? That's great. Qin Yun said with nod. Xiao Yun, you must remember, don't kill innocent people for sacrifice. You can only kill those who threaten your life, understand? Star God warned sternly. Got it, Qin Yun replied. That's good, then let's do this first. Wait until I have settled down, then I will send something to you, Star God said with charming smile. Yue Mei goodbye kiss. Goodbye big sister Star God, Yue Mei said with sweet smile. Qin Yun also felt a lot more relieved. He has finally provided Star God with not a small amount of help. As long as Star God's strength can become stronger, Divine Desolate will be even more stable. Heavenly Wind Divine Mountain's movement is rather slow. It will take several days to reach the vicinity of another Divine Mountain. Qin Yun looked outside the window. He can see that the Divine Mountain is currently moving on a wasteland. Brother, take this opportunity. Xiao Yuemei took out a small mirror and said with charming smile, record some runes inside. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud divine needle and said with smile, all right, floating cloud divine needle. Xiao Yuemei lightly yelled. She can recognize the floating cloud divine needle in Qin Yun's hand. Yuemei, I want to go find the floating cloud heavenly seal. I have only found a part of it. It is the imprint spirit. Qin Yun said. There are two other parts. One part is the imprint body. It is squarish. The other part is the imprint head. That is the beast carving on the heavenly seal. I remember it is a small dragon. Xiao Yuemei said. Floating cloud heavenly seal is very awesome. And the second part is an earth province. I must quickly find it. Qin Yun laughed and then took out the Gemini treasure mirror. Xiao Yuemei looked at the Gemini treasure mirror and said, brother, Sister Kong and Yin Yun's Gemini heavenly rune has evolved very strongly. Mother and daughter are cultivating together through Gemini heavenly rune. Their cultivation has increased very quickly. Qin Yun began carving the totems he obtained during this period of time on the Gemini treasure mirror. For example, Sacred Fire Totem and Black Tortoise Totem, they have been carved on the Gemini treasure mirror. Black Tortoise Totem, Sacred Fire Totem, and also our Guanghan Palace's Arrow Totem. Xiao Yuemei looked at the totems and very happily said with smile, I can use these totem runes to deceive many people. After Qin Yun finished carving them on his Gemini treasure mirror, he placed them on Xiao Yuemei's small mirror. Soon after, he carved many star and moon runes. These are all evolved runes of him and MOMO. After they are assembled and imprinted on talisman paper, they can be refined into very strong immortal talismans. This process took Qin Yun several days. Xiao Yuemei's main purpose is to make immortal talismans. So long as she buys talisman paper and injects blood spirit power into her small mirror, she can print runes. Brother, this seems like a flower totem. Is it Sister Yalin's flower totem? Xiao Yuemei asked. I wonder what use this flower totem has. Qin Yun said, it has great use. Talismans made from flower totem can be used to find many flower-type immortal medicines. Moreover, it can also be used to grow flower-type medicinal herbs. Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. The use is indeed not small. Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Yuanmei obtained many runes and totems this time. She is very satisfied. Oh, that's right. There are many heavenly lion totems on the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. How many heavenly lion totems have you mastered now? Xiao Yuanmei asked. Actually, those heavenly lion totems can be fused together. I haven't done it yet. I should be able to do it after a period of time. Qin Yun said. He often studies those heavenly lion totems. If they can truly fuse together, it will be a very strong heavenly lion totem. Xiao Yuanmei said. When the time comes, we will be able to produce even stronger heavenly lion power. That is a type of totem that can restrain dragons. Suddenly, Lu Jiayan's shout came from outside. Uncle, we saw a divine mountain. Lu Jiayan is very excited. After running around the heavenly wind god mountain for several days and nights, they finally arrived near God Mountain. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuanmei promptly went out. In these past few days, this divine mountain that can run attracted many people's attention. It attracted many people to follow along the way. Although the devil mirror can't be used, news spread very quickly in Immortal Desolate. Everyone knows about this strange divine mountain. And the most shocking news is that the sun altar inside the Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City has been destroyed. It can be said that it once again caused a sensation in the entire Immortal Desolate. Sacred Desolate and Divine Desolate are also spreading this news. 8 sun altars, now only 6 remain. A single person can actually destroy 2 sun altars. Everyone inside the Purple Ice Sacred City knows that it was done by Qin Yun. They also know that Qin Yun is an Earth Immortal and cannot enter the Purple Ice Mountain range, but they are still very worried. What kind of divine mountain is that? It looks very small. Qin Yun asked. That divine mountain's energy is very good, Bai Zhe said with smile. Compared to our divine mountain, it is a bit weak, but in the Earth Province, it can be considered a very good divine mountain. Black Rat Bai Zhe is very knowledgeable about the divine mountain's energy. After all, they are Sun Rune Beast and Heavenly Rune Beast. They are very sensitive towards Sun Divine Stone's energy. That divine mountain originally belonged to a big yellow cow. Later, it was snatched away by Heavenly Tiger Star people. Lu Jiayan said. Chapter 1496. Mountain full of divine fruit, Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. Open your mouth wide and eat. Mountain God crawled out of a large rock. Although his face is not as pale as before, his hair is very messy. He stood on top of a large rock and shouted, Eat, eat, eat. This heavenly wind divine mountain's appearance has already been changed by the mountain god. Moreover, it has been moving for several days, so nobody knows that this is the heavenly wind divine mountain. It must be known that many people have been following the heavenly wind divine mountain for the past few days. They want to see what this divine mountain is doing. Now, the heavenly wind divine mountain suddenly started shaking. Several incomparably thick stone ropes suddenly emerged from the waist of the mountain. These stone ropes are very thick. Each one is several tens of meters thick, even over 100 meters thick. Moreover, they are very long. The rock turned into a thick rope that slithered on the ground like a snake, quickly charging towards the divine mountain in front of them. There are many people on the divine mountain. They are all panicking because their divine mountain has been pierced by 5 thick stone ropes. Qin Yun and others now know how the divine mountain is going to eat a mountain. After the stone ropes pierce through the slightly shorter divine mountain, the energy inside it is being rapidly absorbed. Qin Yun and others originally thought that the mountain god will eat the entire divine mountain, but now it seems like he is only absorbing the energy inside the divine mountain. Roughly how long will it take? He Shu said in amazement. It should be very fast, right? From what I remember, it takes a very long time for a divine mountain to swallow another divine mountain. That is because those divine mountains are dead, and I am alive. I am the soul of a divine mountain, so I can eat that divine mountain very quickly. The mountain god proudly smiled and said again, so long as I eat a few more divine mountains, I will be able to evolve. The heavenly tiger people don't know what is going on. They're doing their best to attack the Heavenly Wind Divine Mountain. However, the Heavenly Wind Divine Mountain has a very strong mountain protection formation. Their attacks are completely ineffective. Spectators are very amazed. They can clearly see that a divine mountain is devouring another divine mountain's energy. The devouring speed is very astonishing. Qin Yun and others can see that the divine mountain's energy is dissipating bit by bit. Most dreadful thing is that many trees on the divine mountain are withering at a very fast speed. On the other hand, the trees of Tian Feng God Mountain were full of vitality and were evolving. In just over an hour, the divine mountain on the other side had become a barren mountain. The trees on the mountain had all withered and turned into dust. The most shocking thing was that the godly mountain that had been devoured originally had many sturdy mountain rocks, but now those mountain rocks had become very fragile. A casual touch would cause a large piece of it to shatter. "I'm done," the mountain god laughed. "Let's move on to the next one." Lu Jian immediately instructed Mountain God to continue devouring the divine mountain occupied by the Tianhu star. Xiao Yuanmei said, "If we continue eating like this, sooner or later, won't it become a very high-level divine mountain? Of course, if I evolve a few more times, I can even transform." The mountain god laughed. "For example, you can become a very powerful stone tiger, or a stone dragon, or a stone eagle. It will be invincible in the world, ha ha ha." Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. "Very good, for now on this mountain will be renamed as Divine Inscription Mountain. It will be our inscription gate's headquarters in the Nine Desolate." Qin Yin let Xiao Yuanmei do whatever she wants because Xiao Yuanmei is very enthusiastic about the inscription gate. In the next 10 days, the mountain god controlled the divine mountain to rampage and devour all the divine mountains controlled by the heavenly tiger star in the Earth province. The people following the mountain god don't dare to fly too close because if they get too close, the mountain god will release a very strong gale to blow them away. Although they can only watch from far away, the people following the mountain god discovered that there are people inside the divine mountain. They also discovered that there is a very strong mountain protecting great formation. Just as they were wondering who is inside the divine mountain, they saw the divine mountain suddenly burst out with very strong golden light. Qin Yun and the others suddenly sensed that the entire divine mountain is releasing a very strange energy. What shocked them the most is that the trees on the divine mountain suddenly produced many divine fruits in the blink of an eye. There are at least a few dozen trees that produced bright red divine fruits. They look very delicious. The people near the divine inscription mountain saw the divine fruits all over the mountain and immediately became excited. They crazily shouted. Many people disregarded their lives and rushed towards the divine inscription mountain. The divine inscription mountain's mountain protecting great formation will become stronger as the divine mountain evolves. The people attacking the mountain are all blocked by the mountain protecting great formation. So many fruits. Xiao Yuanmei's beautiful eyes flickered as she shouted in pleasant surprise. "They are not completely ripe yet." The mountain god said with smile, "Wait for a period of time. When I completely evolve, these divine fruits will completely mature, and you can eat them as you please." "Old mountain, you are truly awesome," Xiao Yuanmei said with smile. "Of course." The mountain god laughed loudly and said, "I will become even more awesome in the future." After he finished speaking, he drilled into a stone. "This is our divine inscription mountain." Xiao Yuanmei happily looked at a nearby tree and sweetly said, "The red fruits are really big. There must be a lot of juice. They are very sweet and crispy." Qin Yin said with smile, "Yuanmei, these divine fruits are not tasty. We humans will feel very uncomfortable eating them." "Really?" Xiao Yuanmei curled her lips and said, "Brother, don't lie to me. The divine fruits I obtained before are all very unpalatable. However, the divine fruits of this divine mountain are produced by Old Mountain. Maybe they will be different." Qin Yin said with smile, "Just wait and see." Roar. Suddenly a beast roar came from below the mountain. Bai Zhe said with smile, Inscription beast is attacking. It seems like it is a very strong tiger. Let them attack. We will wait here for the divine fruits to mature. Qin Yun said, Sect Master, if this mountain evolves, it will become a Tao-level divine mountain. Tao immortals will be able to enter. Me and Bai Zhe are 9th stage Tao immortals. If Tao immortals break through the formation, you don't need to worry. He Shu said, With us here, they won't be able to take away even a single leaf. Bai Zhe said, To them, this divine inscription mountain is very peculiar. It can allow them to quickly evolve. At this stage, divine fruits are not very useful to them, but later on it will be different. If the mountain god can continue devouring large amount of divine mountains and evolve to golden immortal level divine mountain, it will be able to condense golden immortal level divine fruits. At that time, Heishu and Bai Zhe will be able to quickly break through. The entire Earth province knows about this peculiar divine mountain. They all know that there's a divine mountain that is running around and devouring many divine mountains. Then it evolved and produced a mountain full of divine fruits. The divine inscription mountain is shrouded in a thin layer of golden mist. Those with good eyesight can see that the trees inside the mist have many bright red fruits. These are all divine fruits. Those major powers are the most well-informed. They immediately sent people to the divine mountain to investigate the situation. Shimin Dazhuang is carrying a small pig and walking inside a large tent. Around the divine inscription mountain, there are many people setting up tents, waiting for the next step of the divine mountain's transformation. The heavenly wind divine mountain has turned into this. I almost couldn't recognize it. Shimin Dazhuang looked at the 10,000 feet tall mountain in front of him and is secretly astonished. Now the divine mountain has turned into a pagoda-shaped mountain. From afar, it looks like an incomparably huge golden pagoda standing tall on the ground. Pippi Pig said in low voice, That damn old mountain is really awesome. He produced many divine fruits. Those divine fruits should be very delicious. Let's go up the mountain. Uncle might be up there. Shimin Dazhuang said, Uncle destroyed another sun altar. Let's go and ask him about the specific process. Pippi Pig is also very curious. All right. Shimin Zhuang carried Pippi Pig and arrived at the foot of the divine mountain and walked towards the heaven stairway. There are many people at the foot of the heaven stairway. They're currently unable to go over because there is a very strong barrier separating them. Shimin Dazhuang and Pippi Pig both have special jade pendants that can pass through the mountain-protecting great formation. Therefore, under many people's astonished and envious gazes, they climbed the heaven stairway. What's going on with that guy? Why did he go just like that? Someone shouted in alarm. Let's quickly follow him. Many people scrambled to be the first to rush over, but in the end, they all heavily collided with the invisible barrier. During the process of the divine mountain's evolution, it released very intense sunlight. Especially at night, it can illuminate a large area of the surroundings. Complete evolution requires a period of time, and during this period of time, many people rushed over after hearing the news. They all want to attack the divine mountain and plunder its divine fruits. Shimin Dazhuang very quickly arrived at the top of the mountain. After arriving at the top of the mountain, Pippi Pig saw He Shu and Bai Zhe and immediately let out a pig-like squeal. It wanted to struggle free from Shimin Dazhuang's embrace. Pippi Pig, don't be afraid, we are on the same side, Qin Yun said with smile. Pippi Pig is shivering. Shimin Dazhuang also doesn't know what he is afraid of. Real? Really? Pippi Pig said in fear. Little pig, don't be afraid of us, Bai Zhe said with smile. This little pig is very awesome. Heishu said. Pippi Pig is now a lot more relaxed, but he is still afraid. After all, those are formidable heavenly rune beasts and sun rune beasts. Uncle, where is that damn mountain? Shimin Dazhuang said with smile. I came at the right time. I can eat divine fruits very soon. Ha ha ha. Dazhuang, what is the situation outside? Lu Jiayan asked. Many people are rushing over. Who told this mountain to bear several thousand divine fruits? Everyone wants to fish one, Shimin Dazhuang said with disdain. Those trash definitely can't break our Shemin family's mountain protecting great formation. Just as he finished speaking, the divine mountain shook a bit. A very strong power is attacking the mountain. Mountain God suddenly drilled his head out of the large rock and yelled, "We must defend. Don't let them mess around on the mountain, otherwise it will affect my evolution." Who is attacking the mountain? Let's go down and take a look, Qin Yun said with frown. Chapter 1497. Leaving the mountain, the Great Mountain Protecting Formation was set up by Shemin family. Although it is very powerful, the people attacking the formation are very fierce and powerful. Qin Yun and the others are worried that the formation will be breached. After all, the formation has not been tested yet. Uncle, our Shemin family's formation is very stable. You don't need to worry, Shimin Dezhuang very confidently said with smile. Let's quickly go down and see what kind of bastards are acting so arrogantly. Xiao Yuanmei said, Dezhuang, I heard your Pippy Pig is very awesome. Can you let us broaden our horizons when the time comes? This. No problem, Shimin Dezhuang said with mischievous smile while holding Pippy Pig. Dezhuang, don't be too hasty to attack later. If the other side has very strong immortals, your attack won't have any effect and will instead make the battlefield very chaotic, Qin Yun said. I know. Shimin Dezhuang actually doesn't want to attack, because if he let Pippy Pig attack, his existence would be exposed. One must know that he used Pippy Pig to attack many people before, creating a lot of hatred. Many people in Earth Province know that this young Master Shimin has a fart pig that gives people headache. If we need to attack, we will go out first, Bai Zhe said. Attack according to the situation. If the other side has very strong golden immortals, you better be careful, Qin Yun said. Black Rat Bai's cultivation level is at the 9th firmament Dao immortal realm. This made Qin Yun very surprised. This level of inscription beast is an invincible existence in the Earth Immortal's sacred land, Scarlet Slaughter Swamp. It is no wonder that Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City was so wary of them. Qin Yun secretly rejoiced. If Black Rat Bai's attacked back then, the sun altar he painstakingly attacked would have been taken away by Black Rat Bai's. Fortunately, Black Rat Bai's is a very gentle inscription beast. Otherwise, Qin Yun would have to give up the sun altar. If the other side is only a weak golden immortal, there won't be any problem, Black Rat said with smile. Powerful golden immortals are attacking higher cultivation. Most of them are either in Heaven Province or in seclusion. Only a few powerful golden immortals are roaming around. Even if there are golden immortals outside, their cultivation will be very low. As they walked down the mountain, tremors continued unceasingly. The barrier formed by the Great Mountain Protecting Formation was very strong. Even after being continuously bombarded by the powerful immortal power, it was still very stable and showed no signs of being broken. After a while, Qin Yun and company arrived at the foot of the mountain. They stood on the heaven stairway and looked at the group of people outside the barrier. Finally, someone appeared. This made the onlookers very surprised. Who are you people? Why are you attacking my divine mountain? Shouted Qin Yun coldly. Your divine mountain? What gives you the right to say that this is your divine mountain? A white-robed, handsome youth furiously rebuked Qin Yun. This divine mountain belongs to us immortals. Now it has been seized by you. Quickly get the hell out. Xiao Yuanmei lightly groaned and said, It's actually the immortals, these idiots. There were tens of thousands of people watching from afar. Most of them had just arrived. Originally, there were a few other powerful powers that wanted to attack, but when they saw that there were immortals here, they gave up on attacking. I've obtained this divine mountain a long time ago, and I've even constructed a mountain-protecting formation. When did your immortals obtain this divine mountain? Asked Qin Yun. At this moment, Black Rat Bai Zhe is also probing the strength of those people outside. There are only a few dozen immortals. Most of them are Earth immortals. There are not many 9th-stage Earth immortals, only 10 or so. And there are only a few Dao immortals. Additionally, there are 2 old men with very strong immortal power aura. Just now, they were the ones who attacked the mountain-protecting formation. Those two old men should be golden immortals. Ha ha ha! That immortal youth laughed heartily. The other immortals also roared with laughter. The onlookers from afar are all shaking their heads and laughing. Qin Yun and company don't know what these people are laughing about. At this time, an old man said with sneer, "You bunch of ignorant bastards, this region is under our immortals' control. Since the divine mountain appeared here, it naturally belongs to our immortals. Don't tell me you don't know Earth Province's 3 overlords? They have an extremely strong 9th stage golden immortal who dominates Earth Province. This young master is the eldest son of one of the 3 overlords, Xian Huangming." Someone said, "Who made the rule that this is your immortal's territory?" Qin Yun asked again. "No one made the rule. We made the rule with our fists. This plain is called Bian Plain. It is occupied by my father Xian Bian. If anyone doesn't accept it, my father will beat them until they do." Xian Huangming arrogantly laughed and said, "Your divine mountain has trespassed into my Bian Plain. This divine mountain is ours." Qin Yun chuckled and said, "In that case, if we don't accept it, we can only use our fists to reason with you, right?" The dozens of immortals immediately roared with laughter. "In Earth Province, my father is one of the 3 overlords. If those powerful immortals of Heaven Province don't come, who can compare to him?" Xian Huangming laughed loudly and said, "If you guys are tactful, then quickly remove the formation and come out to admit your wrongs. Otherwise, once we break the formation and enter, we will make you suffer a fate worse than death." At this time, the onlookers also shouted loudly, demanding Qin Yun and company to hand over the divine mountain. "Hurry up and scram out. Give the divine mountain to young Master Xian." "That's right, you guys have occupied so many immortal fruits from the divine mountain. What right do you have? Quickly scram from this divine mountain. This is Immortal Family's divine mountain." These guys are truly reckless. They must be ignorant youngsters from some small faction. Xiao Yuanmei is very angry. She stamped her foot, wishing that she could immediately kill her way out. Qin Yun said, "What if we let the divine mountain leave this place? Then the divine mountain will not belong to you. We will leave very soon." "Bullshit. Once the divine mountain enters, no matter where it goes, it will belong to our immortal family." Xian Huangming furiously said, "Don't even think about letting the divine mountain run away. This is our immortal family's divine mountain." Qin Yun chuckled and said, "Truth be told, this divine mountain was originally called Heavenly Wind Divine Mountain. Now it has been renamed Inscription Divine Mountain. It belongs to me. Qin Yun, if you have the guts, then attack." The immortal family people are immediately stunned. When the group of people who were watching from afar heard the 2 words Qin Yun, they were like a flock of frightened birds. They made all sorts of noises and quickly flew away in all directions. These days, other than the fact that the divine mountain can run and bear divine fruits all over the mountain, there's another matter that everyone is talking about. It is the fact that Qin Yun attacked the Scarlet Slaughter Holy City. The Sun Altar was destroyed by Qin Yun. The battle at that time was very intense. Nearly all the disciples of the various families inside the Scarlet Slaughter Holy City were killed. Therefore, Long Family, Immortal Family, Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate, Heavenly Tiger Star, Qi Family, and many other factions all declare that they will join hands to deal with Qin Yun. And this Qin Yun is actually the master of this divine mountain full of divine fruits. Qin Yun? You're just a 9th stage Earth Immortal. We have 2 golden immortals here. We don't need to be afraid of you. Moreover, we also have several formidable Tao immortals. After Xian Huangming recovered from his shock, he laughed loudly and said, "Qin Yun, you son of a turtle, if you have the guts, come out for me." Qin Yun's expression was gloomy. He did not wish to go out because it was clear that the other party was unable to break through the array. "Ha ha! Qin Yun, whose name has shaken the immortal desolate, is here. Furthermore, I, Immortal Radiance, scolded him to the point that he doesn't even dare to fart." Xian Huangming laughed heartily and said, "Everyone, quickly take a look at how cowardly this guy is. I scolded him, but he doesn't dare to come out and hit me." Qin Yun's expression gradually turned cold. Black Rat by Zay was also waiting for Qin Yun to give the order. As long as Qin Yun gave the order, they would immediately rush out. The immortals were constantly cursing Qin Yun. They could tell that Qin Yun's cultivation level was only at the 9th firmament Earth Immortal. He did not dare to fight against Tao Immortals and Golden Immortals. Xian Huangming laughed loudly and said, "My father is one of the 3 overlords of the Earth Province. No one dares to provoke me in the Earth Province. Even Qin Yun, who destroyed 2 sun altars, is just a fart in front of me. Did anyone see that? This is the power of me, Xian Huangming." The others only dared to watch from afar. When they saw that Qin Yun did not speak, they also believed that Qin Yun did not dare to make a move. "Attack," Qin Yun said solemnly. Black Rat by Zay transformed into 2 black and white beams of light and suddenly flew out in a flash. The immortals are very alarmed because the 2 youngsters who suddenly rushed out have very dreadful strength, especially the aura on their bodies. It is like the power of incomparably formidable fierce beasts. Sensing that Black Rat by Zay's power is so dreadful, the 2 golden immortals and the few Tao immortals are extremely alarmed. "It's an inscription beast," an old man shouted in alarm. "Rumble." Black Rat by Zay attacked a few moments later. It produced a series of explosive sounds and swirled up a large amount of dust. Several middle-aged Tao immortals from the Xian clan were instantly killed when they attacked the Black Rat by Zay. Xian Huangming is a 1st firmament Tao immortal. The great battle that erupted in the blink of an eye and the kind of aura that surged out caused him to tremble in fear. Although Xian Huangming is very arrogant, he now knows that his opponent is not weak at all. He immediately flew away. The great battle erupted below, rumbling sounds unceasingly. A large area beside the Divine Mountain is filled with dust. It is as if a sandstorm has enveloped the area. Inside the area, there are all kinds of light rays exploding out. A gale is howling and wreaking havoc. Xian Huangming, whose heart is filled with fear, suddenly flew out of the sandstorm and into the sky. Running, Qin Yun suddenly appeared above Xian Huangming. The floating cloud staff in his hand fiercely smashed down. Xian Huangming promptly dodged, but his shoulder was ruthlessly smashed. His arm and shoulder exploded. Xian Huangming let out a blood-curdling scream and fell down from the attack. Qin Yun opened his hand and released a tree vine that tied up Xian Huangming. "Didn't you say that I wouldn't dare to come out and hit you? I'm coming out now." Qin Yun vigorously pulled the tree vine and pulled Xian Huangming over. Xian Huangming is a Tao immortal, and his equipment is also pretty good. Now he quickly broke free from the tree vine and flew away while shouting. Qin Yun used the light transformation sacred pupil to flash over and smash down on Xian Huangming, who is running away in panic. The floating cloud staff's fierce immortal power was instantly released and landed on Xian Huangming's body, causing a crisp explosion in the air. Xian Huangming's body was smashed into pieces by the staff. His body scattered in the air along with his tattered clothes. The Son of Earth State's overlord was killed in the air just like that. The Divine Mountain suddenly trembled and released even more intense light rays. More and more trees on the mountain quickly bloomed with multicolored flowers and then quickly bore fruit. Chapter 1498. 9-layer divine fruit. The trees on the Divine Mountain bear a large number of divine fruits. It means that the Divine Mountain is still evolving. Qin Yun looked at the Divine Mountain's transformation from the sky and is pleasantly surprised. Although eating the first divine fruit is only effective, seeing the mountain full of precious divine fruits, his mood is very carefree. After Xian Huangming was destroyed, the Divine Mountain blossomed and bore fruit. This is too much of coincidence. Among the spectators, there are many formidable Earth Immortals. There are also dozens of Tao Immortals, but they don't dare to attack Qin Yun. They are worried that the divine mountain has a very powerful Tao immortal hidden inside and will suddenly attack. Qin Yun quickly returned to the divine mountain to avoid becoming a target. He released a very large soul-sealing pearl to collect remnant souls. Just now, Black Rat Bays killed several Tao immortals. It is also a very good energy. Black Rat Bays is very strong. It can suppress those two golden immortals. Those two youngsters have such high cultivation. How can they enter the divine mountain? The heavenly wind, divine mountain Qin Yun occupied before was only an earth immortal. Someone voiced out the doubt in his heart. That divine mountain can devour other divine mountains. It must have evolved into a higher level divine mountain. When the divine mountain evolves, it bears a large number of divine fruits. I truly want to obtain one. An old man said, "Wrong. The divine mountain has not completely evolved. Those divine fruits are not ripe yet. But those two formidable youngsters can enter the divine mountain. The person from before is still very doubtful. Then there's only one possibility. Those two youngsters are formidable inscription beasts," someone said. Actually, many people already suspected this because they sensed a very strong beast aura from Black Rat Bays' body. Inscription beasts that can transform into human form are either heavenly rune beasts or sun rune beasts. They're all very dreadful existences. This kind of saying quickly spread among the crowd. It caused people to be extremely apprehensive. Qin Yun entered the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp, destroyed the sun altar, and even subdued two formidable inscription beasts. It should be. This guy is really too dreadful. If those two inscription beasts continue to grow, they will surely become very strong. I heard those inscription beasts can jump ranks and enter the divine mountain and sacred land. Doesn't that mean those divine mountains can be easily breached by them? Why do we need those two inscription beasts to take action? That moving divine mountain of theirs is already very powerful. The onlookers sighed repeatedly. Of the dozens of immortals who came, only the two strongest golden immortals were left. The rest were all killed. Looks like I don't have to do anything. Shimin Dazhuang chuckled. I don't need to do anything. Those fellows are so weak. So boring. Xiao Yuemei said with charming smile. With a series of explosions, the intense battle between the golden immortals was coming to an end. When the dust settled, the two golden immortals from the Xian clan were seen lying on the ground covered in wounds. One of the old men even had a large hole in his abdomen. Black Rat Bays' hair was only slightly messy. At this moment, they were tidying up their hair. Two of the Xian family's golden immortals were captured. This is all fertilizer. Qin Yun ran out and extracted all the souls from the bodies of the two golden immortals, torturing them until they were in excruciating pain before they died. The people watching from the sky are filled with fear and trepidation. Two golden immortals died just like that. What is even more dreadful is that after their corpses were thrown into the divine mountain, they sank into the ground and were devoured. Who else wants to attack my divine mountain? Feel free to come. Qin Yun looked at the group of people in the sky and shouted. Those people are worried that they will become Qin Yun's target, so they immediately scattered. After Qin Yun and the others returned to the divine mountain, Xiao Yuemei bounced up and down the heaven stairway and said with charming smile, "More divine fruits, more divine fruits. If it continues to grow, maybe it will bear sacred infant fruit." Bai Zhe said with smile, "Me and Brother Shu leaving the Scarlet Slaughter Swamp was the right choice. If this mountain continues to evolve, the divine fruits it bears will be very beneficial to us." Qin Yun said with smile, "Those divine fruits might not taste good to us humans." Qin Yun also paid attention to Black Rat Bays' battle. They did not use any inscription ability during the battle. They only used their powerful body and immortal power to defeat the two golden immortals. Black Rat Bays' true power must be even more dreadful. They quickly returned to the top of the mountain. There's a very spacious platform at the top of the mountain. There are many trees growing on the platform, many divine fruits of various colors, and many grapes. These grapes are so big. I want to use them to make grape juice. Xiao Yuemei looked at the bright red grapes, swallowed her saliva, and said with mischievous smile, Old Shan, you are so awesome. Shimin Dazhuang said with smile. After devouring so many divine mountains, we gathered all the energy of those divine mountains. That's why we can grow so many kinds of divine fruits. Black Rat said with smile. These divine fruits will mature very soon. Qin Yun said, if it is a divine fruit of the same grade, it will only be effective if you eat one, right? Baize shook his head and said, not necessarily. If it is a high-grade divine fruit, generally speaking, the first one will have the best effect. The second and third will also be effective. The later ones won't have much effect. Old Shan suddenly drilled out of the large rock at the top of the mountain. That big rock was like his throne, and he liked to sit on that big rock. Old Shan, when will you completely evolve? I really want to eat divine fruits. Xiao Yueme hastily asked. Soon, Mountain God said with smile. I have transformed this mountain into a pagoda. It has a total of 9 floors. The divine fruits on the first level ripen the fastest and will ripen in a few more days. The divine fruits on the higher levels will ripen slower. As for the 9th level, the divine fruits here will be the last to ripen. Xiao Yueme looked at the bunch of grapes, puffed up her cheeks, and said with creased eyebrows, so it will take a long time for those grapes to mature? Not long. After the divine mountain evolves, it will be divided into 9 stages. It is equivalent to Tao immortal realm from 1st to 9th layer. If I devour enough divine mountains, my evolution speed will become even faster and the divine fruits will mature even faster. After eating the first floor's divine fruits, you will become a Tao immortal. Wait until they mature. You can go down and eat them. Mountain God said. Old Shan, will plucking the divine fruits have any effect on you? Qin Yun asked. Mountain God waved his hand and said with carefree smile, what effect? These divine fruits are released by the divine mountain when it evolves. The divine mountain has a special 9-sun power. It is mainly used to nurture these divine fruits so that the living beings on the earth can eat them and become stronger. Divine mountains don't know how to cultivate, but now that I have fused with them, they can cultivate just like humans. Their evolution speed will become very fast. My path of invincibility is right. Divine Mountain devours a large number of divine mountains and quickly becomes an immortal emperor-level divine mountain. That is equivalent to an immortal emperor-level divine mountain. Old Shan, can you move now? Lu Jian asked. Those immortal people are so arrogant. They say this is their territory. Then we will go and flatten their divine mountains. We are the overlords of this place. They're just trash. They don't have any skill, yet they're so rude and unreasonable all day long. Let's flatten their divine mountains. Xiao Yueme yelled. The heavenly tiger star has caused all the divine mountains in Earth Province to be devoured by mountain gods. Immortal and Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate control many divine mountains. They have now become their target. Let's wait for a few more days. I am now at the crucial point of evolution. Now I have obtained a great amount of energy. I need to refine that energy to break through. Just like your cultivation. Mountain God said, I won't talk to you anymore. I will go into seclusion first. Finished speaking, he drilled into the large stone. Brother, I want to walk around. I want to take a look at the divine fruits here. Xiao Yueme is very happy. She is walking on stone stairs. She wants to see the divine fruits one by one. In a few days, the divine fruits of first floor of Divine Mountain will mature. At that time, they will know how they taste. Xiao Yueme, this little gluttonous cat, can't help but drool. She wants to pluck them and eat them. Hey Shu, Bai Zhe, Shimin Zhuang, and Lu Jiayan are now sitting together on top of the mountain. Shimin Zhuang and Lu Jiayan are talking about all kind of strange and interesting things. Because Shimin Zhuang comes from an inscription family. Moreover, it is a very strange Shimin family. He Shu and Bai Zhe can also hear many secrets about the inscription family. Qin Yun is strolling at the foot of Divine Mountain. The matter of Xian Huangming being killed will surely reach the Xian family very soon. Next, it is very likely that several great factions will join hands to attack this Divine Mountain. Qin Yun arrived at the foot of the divine mountain and checked the formation pillars. He wants to ensure that there is no problem with the mountain protecting Great Formation. At night, Qin Yun circled around the pagoda-shaped divine mountain and checked all the formation pillars. Just as he was about to reach the top of the mountain, he suddenly saw a white-haired, cold, and elegant woman. She is wearing a white skirt and fluttering down the mountain. This white-haired woman looks exactly the same as Xian Rujing. She is precisely the Snow Woman Immortal summoned by Xian Rujing. Ice Mother Tigress is nearby, Qin Yun said in his heart. That Snow Woman Immortal also saw him. Xian Rujing released the Snow Woman Immortal to circle around the mountain to attract Qin Yun's attention. She did not expect to see Qin Yun at the foot of the mountain. Qin Yun quietly left the mountain and followed the Snow Woman Immortal. Very soon, he saw Xian Rujing. Take out your floating cloud pagoda. Let's talk inside. Xian Rujing is wearing a mask, she anxiously said after seeing Qin Yun. Xian Rujing is now an immortal emperor. For her to appear here, she must have something important to tell him. After Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda, he brought Xian Rujing inside and arrived at the 20th floor. Xian Rujing took off her mask. Although her beautiful jade-like face is ice-cold and gorgeous, her watery eyes are flickering with traces of gentleness. Goddess Rujing, why did you come here by yourself? Qin Yun said with a smile. Xian Rujing looked at the small altar and realized that it is the star god altar. Kiru asked me to bring you a message, Xian Rujing said. She said that the floating cloud heavenly seal is related to the immortal graveyard. She wants you to quickly find the floating cloud heavenly seal and then go to the immortal graveyard. I will go look for it as soon as possible. The smile on Qin Yun's face disappeared, and he nodded. Chapter 1499. The might of a goddess. The Cloud Dragon mountain range was currently in a special space that was occupied by the Xieyang race. It was filled with all sorts of dangers. If he went back, he didn't know how he would be able to return. Since Xiekaru wants Qin Yun to quickly find the floating cloud heavenly seal, it means that there's a way to go to the Cloud Dragon mountain range. Sister Rujing, congratulations on becoming immortal emperor. So fast. Qin Yun said with a smile. This is all thanks to you. A gentle smile suddenly appeared on Xian Rujing's ice-cold jade-like face. Little brother Xiao Yun, I must properly thank you. You're welcome, Qin Yun said with a smile. Has your sun-suppressing divine arrow also become very weak? Xian Rujing nodded her head. The sun-suppressing divine arrow needs the power of Sun Core to unleash its full power. Now, the heart of the sun has been completely cut off from our sun-suppressing divine arrow. This means that we can only rely on ourselves to cultivate the heart of the sun. Cultivate the heart of the sun? Have you begun cultivating now? Asked Qin Yun. Back then, the spirit of the divine arrow had said that it was possible to cultivate the core of the sun through the sun totem of the sun-suppressing divine arrow, but it would take a long time. It's starting. It's a little difficult. Xian Rujing lightly smiled and said, however, once you cultivate it, not only you will obtain formidable power, it will also make the sun-suppressing divine arrow even stronger. Oh, that's right, Sister Rujing. Did Shueru ask you to bring me any news? Qin Yun asked. No, Shueru was now a Dao immortal. Moreover, she has obtained the approval of 2 holy nascent fruits and can absorb a great amount of energy from them, Xian Rujing said. He told Nangong Shueru to plant that mysterious seed. If there is any movement, Nangong Shueru will definitely ask Xian Rujing to inform him. The cultivation of your Guanghan Palace's girls is really fast, Qin Yun said. It's all thanks to the Moon God Mountain. There are many holy infant fruits on the Moon God Mountain, and there are many talented girls in Guanghan Palace. After they obtain the approval of the holy infant fruits, they can use a joint cultivation technique, and everyone can cultivate together. Xian Rujing said, you can do that? Guanghan Palace is truly a holy land for cultivation. Qin Yun said with a smile. Your current divine mountain is also pretty good. It has so many divine fruits. Xian Rujing is standing beside the window. She can see those divine fruits flickering with radiance on the divine mountain. Qin Yun said, Sister Rujing, I dismantled the sun altar. Moreover, it is still intact. I plan to give it to your Guanghan palace and let you transform it into a star god altar. That is possible, Xian Rujing said with smile. You bastard, have you been charmed by star gods? Why are you so concerned about her? No way. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, By the way, I promised you that if you help me get the sun-suppressing divine arrow, I'll let you touch my thighs. Xian Rujing took off her outer robe and sat on a chair, revealing her long and slender white legs. What's there to touch? Qin Yun chuckled and said, You promised to give me the snow goddess totem. When will you give it to me? Little brother Yun, I will give it to you sooner or later. Take it easy, okay? I'm not ready to give it to you yet, Xian Rujing said with slight anger. Come here. I will let you touch my thighs. No need. There is nothing to touch. Qin Yun waved his hand and said, Oomph. I will let you touch. You will touch. You are not allowed to refuse. Xian Rujing lightly groaned, then waved her hand and released a very strong, immortal emperor power that wrapped around Qin Yun. Qin Yun is secretly startled. He really cannot understand what is going on with this ice mother tigress. She is actually forcing him to touch her thighs. Sister Rujing. After Qin Yun was wrapped up by the immortal power, Xian Rujing promptly got up and pushed Qin Yun to a chair. After Qin Yun sat down, he forced a smile and said, Sister Rujing, I am an honest man. Men and women should not touch each other. Besides, I never thought of touching your thighs. Xian Rujing doesn't care. She ripped off her lower body's white muslin long skirt, only wearing shorts, then sat on Qin Yun's thighs and spread her snow-white slender jade legs horizontally. Quickly touch. I'll let you touch for half an hour. You must touch for half an hour. Xian Rujing spoke, then vigorously pinched Qin Yun's waist and pouted coquettishly, Quickly touch. There is nothing to touch. Qin Yun looked at those jade legs and said with sigh, Goddess Rujing, why are you doing this? If you want to repay me, you can use other methods. Why must you sell your body? I promised you, I will surely do it. Xian Rujing lightly groaned and said, Is that so? I remember that back then you made a bet with me. You said that if you lost, you would marry me. Qin Yun touched his nose and said with smile, Oomph. At that time, I had not awakened Snow Goddess's memories, so it did not count. Xian Rujing is sitting on Qin Yun's thigh. She anxiously shook her jade-like legs and scolded, You bastard, quickly touch. Qin Yun doesn't know what kind of divine fruit this ice mother tigress ate. She is actually so generous. Sister Rujing, I am an honest person. I can't do it. Qin Yun said in a very embarrassed manner. Honest person still use Dragon Claw hand on me? You even used it so many times? Xian Rujing rolled her eyes and pinched Qin Yun's chest. Ayo! Qin Yun let out a cry after being pinched. If you don't touch, I will bite you. Xian Rujing's jade hand is still on Qin Yun's chest. She is laughing mischievously. It seems like she's ready to bite. Qin Yun wants to run away, but this Xian Rujing is an immortal emperor. He cannot run away. Sister Rujing, Sister Star God's altar is over there. Moreover, she can appear. I saw her before. She looks exactly the same as Shao Tian. Qin Yun said again, If she sees me touching your thigh, she will laugh at you. Sister Star God, sister. Xian Rujing lightly shouted a few times, then said with smile, Do you see? She is not reacting. She has been fleeing for a while. She will not come out. Moreover, if she comes out, it will be even better. I want her to see you touching my thigh. If she sees, it won't be too good, right? Qin Yun said with frown. Didn't you tell her before that you forcefully kissed me? You told her? Xian Rujing's expression turned cold as she intently looked at Qin Yun. Qin Yun immediately admitted to provoking Xian Rujing. Very good. Xian Rujing's ice-cold face suddenly became filled with a proud and charming smile. She is sitting on Qin Yun's thigh and swinging her jade feet. Qin Yun really wanted to slap himself. He wanted to see if he had fallen into a dream or something. This ice tigress had actually become so abnormal. Ling Yuner chuckled and said, Xiao Yun, this ice goddess saw that you were very concerned about Star God. She specially tore down a sun altar and turned it into a Star God altar in Guanghan Palace. So she became jealous. What is there to be jealous about? Qin Yun is very depressed in his heart. Xian Rujing grabbed Qin Yun's hand and placed it on her thigh, letting Qin Yun touch it back and forth. Qin Yun immediately felt a very smooth and warm feeling. That pair of jade-like beautiful thigh is indeed very good to touch. Moreover, it is not cold at all. It is like a piece of snow-white, warm, beautiful jade. Good to touch, Xian Rujing said with a smile. Not bad. Qin Yun nodded and said, That's right. Xian Rujing lightly groaned and said, You bastard, just now you used all sorts of excuses. Xian Rujing's body is also releasing a cold and serene body fragrance. She is now sitting on Qin Yun's thigh. Moreover, she is slightly leaning on Qin Yun's body. The two of them appear very intimate. Goddess Rujing, I did not expect that normally you would be so ice cold, but now you are so fragrant and warm. Qin Yun placed his hand on Xian Rujing's soft jade-like waist and hugged her a bit tighter. His other hand is lightly caressing her jade-like thigh. Suddenly, there is movement from the 17th layer altar. Star God's alluring and beautiful figure appeared. Seeing this charming and enchanting beauty, Qin Yun immediately became flustered. He wanted to throw Xian Rujing away, but discovered that Xian Rujing is hugging him very tightly. Earlier, Qin Yun did not believe that Xian Rujing is jealous and deliberately acted in front of Star God, but now he is completely convinced. Xian Rujing is indeed deliberately being intimate with him to provoke Star God. Sister Star God. Qin Yun did not even finish speaking when Xian Rujing forcefully kissed him. Star God's expression is filled with hidden bitterness. Her face is filled with jealousy, and she repeatedly stamped her jade-like feet. Qin Yun only feels very embarrassed because Star God is watching from the side. This wretched ice mother tigress. Qin Yun cursed in his heart. He wants to get rid of Xian Rujing, but he is not an immortal emperor. After Xian Rujing kissed Qin Yun for a while, she got down from Qin Yun's thigh while grinning. She proudly said to Star God, Big sister, hello, long time no see. Little sister Bing Xue, did not expect you to change so much, actually. Actually so bad. Bully my Xiao Yun. Star God's charming face is filled with hidden bitterness as she pouted coquettishly. Who told you to seduce little brother Xiao Yun all day long? You still want to snatch him from me. You can't compete with me. Xian Rujing said with charming smile. Oomph. Believe it or not, I will go to Immortal Desolate to be reborn. I guarantee that I will snatch Xiao Yun away. Star God bit her lips and lightly groaned. All right. If you come over, Xiao Tian will be gone. Xian Rujing is also very reluctant to part with Yu Shutian's personality. She repeatedly consoled. Big sister Star God, Xiao Yun is very fond of you. He even took the risk to attack Sun Altar for you. He wants to build Sun Altar in Guanghan Palace. After Star God heard this, she indeed became a lot happier. She gathered her beautiful hair hanging on her chest. Each and every movement of hers is extremely charming. Even Xian Rujing is secretly jealous looking at this. She is very clear that Star God's charm is not something she can learn. Big sisters, you are also a part of Divine Desolate's great gods. How can you be jealous of a little mortal like me? Qin Yun very helplessly sighed and said, You are not a little mortal. You are the future sun god, the king of gods. Star God said with a smile. Xian Rujing looked at the small statue and said, I already knew that this is Sun God's divine position. I really did not expect that this guy's past life was actually Sun God. Star God and Sun God are here. We are still missing Moon God. Where is she? Star God said in low voice. Chapter 1500. Moon God's mystery. Star God noticed something and said in urgent voice, Little sister, do you know Moon God's whereabouts? I remember when you were in Divine Desolate. You were always looking for Moon God. Moon God and Sun God are the same. They both mysteriously disappeared. Back then, I wanted to obtain Moon God's divine position. so I looked for her everywhere. Xian Rujing leaned on the wall, lowered her head to look at her slender jade legs, and faintly sighed. Later, I really found her. But she was not in Divine Desolate. Moreover, she entrusted me to investigate some matters. Why didn't you tell me? Star God's charming jade face is filled with shock. Little sister Bingxue, were you killed because you helped Moon God investigate some matters? You had no choice but to be reborn? But aren't you implicated because of me? Xian Rujing sighed again, then squatted down, hugged her knees, and nodded. I wasn't implicated because of you. I didn't look for you because I was worried that I would harm you. You are a demon. You have already caused many troubles. I don't want to trouble you anymore. Where's Moon God? Star God asked. Xian Rujing looked at Qin Yun and said, Xiao Yun, can you guess who Moon God is? Qin Yun's brows are tightly creased. He is thinking who it is. It's Sister Karu. Ling Yuner suddenly said, Sister Karu must be the reincarnation of Moon God. She has a very close relationship with Guanghan Palace. When Xian Rujing was still Ice Goddess, she contacted Sister Kiru. Qin Yun remembers that Xie Karu's immortal devil sacred body art was passed down by Xian Rujing in Divine Desolate. Sister Kiru knows that I am the reincarnation of Sun God. That is why she said that the nine-sun divine soul originally belonged to me. Qin Yun cannot help but touch his wrist. He has always found it strange that Xie Karu gave him that precious divine tool and even said that it originally belonged to him. Sister Kiru, Qin Yun said after pondering for a while. Xian Rujing nodded. It's her. She is Moon God. After she was reborn in Immortal Desolate, she grew up very well, but then she encountered a great unforeseen event, causing her to have no choice but to be reborn again. The Immortal Graveyard was in the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range, and the Cloud Dragon Mountain Range was targeted by the Xieyang race. This meant that there was something related to the Moon God in the Immortal Graveyard. All right, Star God, Snow Goddess, Sun God, and Moon God are all connected. Qin Yun thought for a moment and said, and we don't seem to know each other. What a rare coincidence. The Star God said, the Sun God and the Moon God disappeared mysteriously in the Divine Wilderness. I suspect that both of you died together. Xian Rujing said, when I was investigating in Divine Desolate, I found some clues. There's a force that forbids the existence of the star, moon, and sun gods, because if the three of them unite, they will become incomparably powerful. The previous star god also left very suddenly and didn't leave anything behind. You have to know, the star god was originally the strongest, and after I took over the star god's divine position, I felt that I was greatly weakened and lost a lot of inheritance. The star god snorted. Just what kind of power is causing trouble? I feel that it is evil sun race, or nine sun sects. Xian Rujing said, if my guess is not wrong, Xiao Yun used to be the sect master of a nine sun sect, the same nine sun sect that was exterminated back then. Qin Yun nodded his head. When we were in Nine Nether Realms Floating Cloud City, there was a sun altar. It should be the sun altar of the exterminated nine sun sect. Indeed, Xian Rujing said. It seems like you left behind many clues and opportunities for future generations. That floating cloud heavenly seal is certainly not an ordinary object. It must have come from Divine Desolate. Qin Yun said, my past life was a mortal king floating cloud. I might know about the matter of the sun god in my past life. I really did not expect that the sun and moon gods of Divine Desolate would actually die twice. The star god sighed and said again, maybe you two were a couple in Divine Desolate. Xian Rujing said with smile, it is very possible. Kiru is so good to you. Qin Yun recalled Xie Karu's gentleness and sighed endlessly in his heart. Could it be that after gods die, they reincarnate? Qin Yun asked. Of course. Look at me. I have been reborn in a very special way. Xian Rujing said, gods who obtain god position cherish their life very much. They have secret methods to make their soul immortal. As long as their soul is not destroyed, the god position will not be obtained by others. Only when they die, the god position will descend again. What is the process of inheriting a god position? Qin Yun looked at the star god. Under normal circumstances, there are two ways to inherit a god position. The first is to appoint a successor. The previous star god appointed me as the successor. As long as he dies or voluntarily renounces the god position will pass through space and arrive in my hands. The star god said. Xian Rujing took out a soft cushion and sat down. She leaned her back against the wall and stretched out her jade-like legs. She continued the star god's words. The second method is when there is no appointed successor. After the god dies, the god position will descend into divine desolate. As long as you obtain the god position and fuse with it, you can become a true god. Qin Yun said, "Don't people like evil gods pick up god position?" The star god nodded and said, "Indeed, god position picked up doesn't have any inheritance. Therefore, they are very weak unless they can comprehend formidable divine techniques on their own. Many god positions in divine desolate are picked up. Therefore, they are very weak." Xian Rujing said, "My god position is also picked up. However, I am one of the top-ranked ice and snow goddess." Qin Yun said, "Then if I return to divine desolate, won't I be hunted down? If they don't know that you have sun god position, then you won't have any problem. But they will surely find out. So long as they kill you, the sun god position will descend again. At that time, a large number of experts will come to snatch it." The star god said. Xian Rujing said, "Big sister, did you bring anything for Xiao Yun this time?" "I did, but I am worried that I won't be able to teleport over." The star god said, "Xiao Yun, take out the top layer of the sun altar you just dismantled." Xian Rujing promptly stood up, patted Qin Yun's shoulder, and said, "We will go outside, make this altar 18 layers. Back when Qin Yun was in Great Desert Sacred City, he destroyed the top layer of the altar. Therefore, the star god altar only has 17 layers. Xian Rujing's current intention is to leave the complete 18 layers altar with Qin Yun. Their Guanghan Palace only needs 17 layers. Qin Yun and Xian Rujing brought the small star god altar outside. Then Qin Yun took out the top layer of the Scarlet Slaughter Sacred City. The stars in the sky began moving, releasing power to continue transforming the altar. Very soon, a silver, white 18 layers small altar appeared. It has also been completely transformed. Qin Yun placed the remaining 17 layers into a storage magic tool with a very large space and handed it over to Xian Rujing. He told her to take it back to Guanghan Palace and let the star god transform it. Qin Yun and Xian Rujing returned to Floating Cloud Pagoda and took out the 18 layers small altar. All right, when we transformed the altar, our location was exposed. Dao Yang Divine Sect and Heavenly Mountain Tyrant Sun's people are about to catch up. I will run first. I will transfer things next time. The star god used the stars in the sky to transform the altar. The movement was very big. "See you next time." Xian Rujing lightly sighed and said, "Big sister, be careful." "I know. Little sister, you must quickly become stronger. Come find me in divine desolate." Star god smiled charmingly and said, "Take good care, Xiao Yun, goodbye." After the star god disappeared, Xian Rujing said to Qin Yun with smile, "Xiao Yun, do you still want to touch my thighs? You have already made big sister star god jealous. I don't need to touch them anymore." Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "I will go back and talk to Kiru, see if she has time to come see you or not. I am worried that those two great emperors will know that she has been reborn, so I don't want her to wander around. When I have time, I will take a trip to Guanghan Palace. Don't let her wander around." Qin Yun hastily said, "Those two great emperors must have joined hands with Xie Yang race." Xian Rujing stretched her legs and said, "I will go back now. You go look for Floating Cloud Heavenly Seal. Be careful." Qin Yun escorted Xian Rujing out of Floating Cloud Pagoda and then patted her butt. Xian Rujing only bared her teeth at Qin Yun and then floated away, only leaving behind a clear and cold, delicate fragrance. Ling Yuner lightly sighed and said, "What a pity. If she was not an immortal emperor, you would have succeeded tonight. Qin Yun hastily returned to Divine Mountain and found Xiao Yueme. Xiao Yueme is strolling around the fourth floor. She is actually counting the divine fruits. Yueme, I want to go look for floating cloud, heavenly seal. Do you want to come with me or wait here for divine fruits? Qin Yun asked. Brother, I want to go with you. Xiao Yueme pouted and said again. But I also want to wait here for divine fruits. You stay here and wait for divine fruits, then impart some runes to He Shu and Bai Zhe. Since they are our inscription gate's protectors, we cannot treat them unfairly. Qin Yun pinched Xiao Yueme's adorable pouting face. Brother, I also want to go with you. Xiao Yueme hugged Qin Yun and mumbled, If only I had a doppelganger. I have decided I will start cultivating doppelganger technique. I must have a very strong doppelganger. Qin Yun cannot help but smile. Yueme, wait until there are enough divine fruits here. Take some to Guanghan Palace or send some to another sect. Oh, that's right. Tell Shuru to come here and take a look when she has time. Xiao Yueme nodded and said, Brother, do you want to eat some divine fruits before leaving? I just plucked a few. I have a way to make them mature. I will leave tonight. Qin Yun said with smile. Rest assured, I will take care of this divine mountain. Xiao Yueme nodded and said. Qin Yun kissed her forehead, rubbed her charming little face, and then left the divine mountain. He is very anxious to find floating cloud, heavenly seal. While flying in the sky, Qin Yun took out the compass used to find floating cloud, heavenly seal. He said with frown, Floating cloud, heavenly seal's position has always been fixed. Didn't you say it could run away? His past life left him a letter saying that floating cloud, heavenly seal could run away. Chapter 1501. 1501, Chapter 1501, Great Dragon, Desolate, Domain. Qin Yun looked at the pointer of the compass flying in the sky. The direction of the pointer has not changed. It means that the imprint's position is fixed. The second part of the floating cloud, heavenly seal, should be easy to find. The third part might be difficult. Ling Yuner said, The third part is in the heavenly province, and it might run around everywhere. It is indeed very difficult. No matter how difficult it is, I must find it. Only then can I go to the immortal graveyard. Qin Yun sighed and said, That place must be hiding many secrets. Ling Yuner said with smile, Xiao Yun, you will definitely find a third part. Don't worry, you need to have strong cultivation to be able to do many things. Qin Yun increased his speed and flew in the sky while holding the compass. If that divine mountain evolved into a Dao-level divine mountain, at most 9th-stage Dao immortals would be able to enter. Moreover, they would have to break the barrier first. Even if there were many powerful 9th-tier Dao immortals joining forces to break through the barrier, the Black Rat Bays on a mountain would still be able to finish them off. Therefore, Qin Yun left the divine mountain without worry and went to look for the floating cloud heavenly seal. A few days later, he arrived above a lake. It's below? Qin Yun looked at the randomly moving pointer on the compass. The lake is very big. The dark green lake water is very calm. It shouldn't be that simple, right? Qin Yun slowly landed. The lake gave him a strange feeling. He stood on the shore and looked at the calm lake water. He wanted to find someone to ask about the situation of the lake. Not long after, he saw a group of people walking over. They're all middle-aged or old men. They're all talking and laughing. When a dozen people saw that there were people on the shore, the smiles on their faces immediately disappeared. Friends, do you know anything about this lake? Qin Yun walked over with a smile on his face and asked, This, little brother, why are you suddenly interested in this lake? Isn't this kind of lake everywhere in the immortal desolate? An old man said, I passed by here and felt that this lake is a bit strange. It has a strange power. Qin Yun said, Oh, what kind of strange power? That old man asked in amazement and then looked at others. Others are also amazed. Qin Yun feels that these people must know about this lake. I sensed a very weak spatial fluctuation coming from below. Qin Yun replied, This is indeed what he sensed. Little brother, your perception is really powerful. Your mental strength must be very strong. The old man smiled and said, Senior, Is there an ancient teleportation array under this lake? Or some spatial Dharma treasure? Asked Qin Yun. None of them. There's a door down there that leads to a wasteland. A middle-aged man said, Since you have discovered it, this is your opportunity. You can enter that desolate domain. There's actually a desolate domain down there? Qin Yun is very surprised. The wasteland was an independent and mysterious small space. It was a very special existence. The wastelands were all very ancient, and some had even existed for many eras. In some desolate regions, there were cultivation restrictions. A small spatial world like the desolate domain was relatively fragile. In order to prevent it from being destroyed, it would release a natural force to prevent people with powerful cultivation from entering. Qin Yun never expected the floating cloud heavenly seal to be hidden in a desolate domain. Is there anything special about that desolate domain? Qin Yun asked. It's hard to say. In short, it's better than the immortal desolate. The strongest inside are golden immortals, and there aren't many of them, because most golden immortals ran out. The old man said, Since it's like this, doesn't it mean that many people know about the existence of the desolate domain? Qin Yun said, That's not the case. People who come out from there usually don't talk about the things inside. They have contract restrictions, otherwise they can't go in anymore, and their power will even leak out. Especially people who have cultivated inside for many years. If they talk about the things inside carelessly, their power will become weaker. The old man said. Qin Yun said with a smile, Didn't you also say that? A middle-aged man laughed and said, Because we are different. We are in charge of finding disciples outside. Finding disciples? Qin Yun said with a frown. Our sect is very lacking in outstanding disciples. An old man said with mischievous laugh, Little brother, your perception is very high. Your mental power must be very strong. Come with us to the desolate domain. Qin Yun thought about it, then nodded and said, All right. Most of these people are earth immortals. Only the old man is a Tao immortal. Qin Yun also doesn't know what the situation inside the desolate domain is. He feels that these people don't seem to have any evil intentions. Moreover, they are very weak, so he agreed to go with them. All right, then let's quickly go down. The old man took out a large black iron ship. After Qin Yun followed them into the cabin, the ship slowly dived down. The speed at which it dived down is very fast, but it still took a period of time to reach the bottom. We are about to enter the desolate domain. Everyone get ready. The old man shouted. Prepare? What preparation? Qin Yun asked anxiously. Little brother, our ship is very special. When we enter the desolate domain, it disintegrates once. The old man said with a smile. Qin Yun cursed a few times in his heart. It is clear that this ship is too lousy. That is why it disintegrates when passing through the space channel. Following a very strong spatial fluctuation, Qin Yun also heard creak 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 sound. It is as if the ship is about to fall apart. Senior, isn't your ship too lousy? Qin Yun cannot help but ask. It's not lousy, it's very special. Our ship only disintegrates. It can still be reassembled. The old man said with a smile. Let's begin. Crash. The ship suddenly disintegrated and a large amount of water rushed in. Qin Yun immediately released a barrier to protect himself from the invasion of the water. Then he floated up. The exit of this mysterious desolate domain is also under a lake. When Qin Yun floated up, he saw the old man at the bottom of the lake, collecting the fragments of the ship. Qin Yun also admitted that the ship is indeed quite special. Although it has been disintegrated, the fragments are very big. After collecting them, they can be reassembled very quickly. After arriving at the shore, Qin Yun looked around and discovered that the lake here is very small. It is inside a small valley. What surprised him is that he can see 3 suns in this desolate domain. Apart from this, there is also a black celestial body that is bigger than the moon floating in the sky. What is that? Qin Yun immediately pointed at the black ball in the sky. The old man came out of the lake and saw Qin Yun pointing at the black ball. He shouted in fear, Don't randomly point at that thing. Your hand will go crooked. Qin Yun's hand was patted by the old man. Senior, I came to this desolate domain. You should tell me about this place, right? Qin Yun asked. That thing is called Xieyang, a middle-aged man said in low voice. It has been here for many years. Their main purpose for appearing here is to find one thing. The old man said in deep voice. Xieyang race came here to find something. Many battles broke out between them and the big powers here. Luckily, they were all suppressed. Qin Yun is incomparably shocked. The black ball in the sky is actually Xieyang. He also heard that Xieyang was created by a group of powerful gods. Now that it appeared in the sky of this desolate domain, it is very clear that it is very important to this place. Luckily, this desolate domain restricts cultivation, otherwise there would be even more powerful things here. What are they looking for? Qin Yun asked. He is not sure whether or not the Xieyang race is looking for the floating cloud heavenly seal. What kind of head are they looking for? The old man let out a long sigh and said. We also don't know what that thing is, a middle-aged man said in low voice. Of course we don't know, but the big powers here definitely know where that head is. Head? Qin Yun secretly relaxed. He thought that the Xieyang race came here to look for the floating cloud heavenly seal. The Xieyang race said that it is a golden head. Moreover, it is very big. The middle-aged man made a hand gesture. It looks like it is even bigger than a normal human head. The old man said, Let's not talk about it anymore. We should quickly bring this little brother into our sect. Little brother, what is your name? A middle-aged man asked. Ayun, Qin Yun said. Ayun, our sect is very powerful. It used to dominate this desolate domain for many years. The old man patted Qin Yun's shoulder and said with a smile, You can rest assured and join us. What sect? Qin Yun doesn't really want to join. He just wants to understand the situation here and then go look for the floating cloud heavenly seal. Floating cloud sect, the old man said. Hearing this name, Qin Yun is secretly startled. He feels that it is very likely that he founded this sect in his past life. All right, quickly take me there. Qin Yun saw how shabby these people are and feels that Floating Cloud sect has most likely declined. Originally, he only wanted to join that sect for a period of time and then go look for the Floating Cloud heavenly seal. But now he feels that the Floating Cloud heavenly seal might be inside Floating Cloud sect. Then let's quickly go, Qin Yun said. We can't fly in this place. Immortal Desolate is much better. We can fly everywhere. We can only walk. The old man said. Qin Yun asked, Seniors, did you go to Immortal Desolate this time to find me, your disciple? We don't like other people. Little brother, you in Great Dragon Desolate Domain have a lot of opportunities, so we reluctantly accepted you. The old man said with mischievous smile. Qin Yun secretly despised these people. He can see that these people can't fool people to join them in Immortal Desolate. They just happened to meet him by the lake and tricked him to join. Great Dragon Desolate Domain? Why is it called that? Qin Yun asked. We also don't know. We just heard that there used to be a very powerful dragon here, called Great Dragon, so we named it that way. The old man brought Qin Yun out of the valley, pointed at a magnificent, huge mountain in the distance, and said, That is the mountain where our Floating Cloud sect used to be. That is the first mountain of Great Dragon Desolate Domain. Used to be? What about now? Qin Yun said. Chapter 1502. Fu Yun sect leader Qin Yun realized that Floating Cloud sect is not good at all. It once occupied the highest peak in the Flood Dragon Desolate Domain, but it left on the grounds of bad feng shui. Clearly, it was chased away by someone else. I think that mountain is very good. Qin Yun said, Water flows downwards. People walk towards higher places. Since you are the strongest, then you should go to the highest place. The old man said with a smile, Little brother, even if that's the case, that highest peak is not a blessed land. After all, a tall tree attracts the wind. My Floating Cloud sect is a very low-key sect. In such a high place, it will attract a lot of trouble. Another middle-aged man continued, Isn't that so? Now that the mountain is occupied by the Sangshuan sect, the Xieyang race will go to find trouble with them every few days, but our Floating Cloud sect is different. We have many days ahead of us. The Xieyang race is causing trouble for the Zhangshuan sect? Qin Yun was a little worried that the Xieyang race would occupy the highest peak. In the past, the floating cloud gate was located on the highest peak. Perhaps the imprint body of the very important floating cloud heaven seal was hidden in that mountain. When Qin Yun thought of this, he suddenly had an ominous feeling. The Zhangshuan sect is one of the 3 great sects of the Flood Dragon Desolate region, and the strongest one at that. Who else would the Xieyang race target if not them? The old man walked on a mountain path and said with a smile, "Luckily, our floating cloud sect ran fast, otherwise we would have been targeted by the Xieyang race." The Zhangshuan sect is being controlled by the Xieyang race? Qin Yun grew even more worried. No, the Zhangshuan sect is still quite strong and very tough. Those Xieyang race fellows don't dare to act recklessly, or else the Zhangshuan sect will fight to the death with them. A middle-aged man said. Qin Yun secretly despised the current floating cloud sect. Unexpectedly, it has not fallen to such a situation. Not to mention that their best territory has been forcibly occupied by others. They are actually proud of it. "Senior, where is Floating Cloud Gate? How far is it?" Qin Yun asked. "It's not far. We'll be there soon." The old man pointed ahead. Qin Yun only saw a forest in front of him. There were many ancient towering trees. At this moment, he felt that the Floating Cloud sect might not even have a decent territory. Not long after, Qin Yun followed the dozen or so people into the forest. In the middle of the forest, there was a small villa. There were more than 20 buildings of various sizes, and there wasn't even a single formation. Qin Yun arrived in front of a large wooden door and looked at the crooked words Floating Cloud Sect written on it. He had the urge to vomit blood. This Floating Cloud Sect was much worse than he had imagined. From the looks of it, it was not even as strong as a small sect in the Immortal Desolate. Just the scale of this villa can be found everywhere in the Immortal Desolate. A small tycoon can build this villa. This is Floating Cloud Sect. The old man shouted, "Everyone, I am back. Come out and welcome the new disciple." Suddenly, a large group of people walked out of those wooden houses. There were only 200 to 300 people in total, and all of them looked very weak. "Headmaster, you're finally back. Something big has happened." A middle-aged man walked over and said. Qin Yun is extremely shocked. That old man is actually the Floating Cloud Sect's sect master. The Floating Cloud Sect's sect master did not even have a decent ship. Moreover, he had to personally go out to recruit disciples, and he was unable to recruit even one. In the end, it was Qin Yun who delivered himself to their doorstep that allowed them to recruit a disciple. "Something big has happened?" the old man asked. "It's a battle that happens once in 1,000 years. Zhangshuan Sect's chief disciple wants to challenge Headmaster." The middle-aged man said. "What? Challenge me?" The old man's face is filled with astonishment. Did 1,000 years pass so quickly? Qin Yun's horizons have been broadened. The Floating Cloud Sect's sect master is actually a Tao immortal. Moreover, he is being challenged by their chief disciple. Everyone was looking at the little old man. The middle-aged man suddenly handed over a red invitation card and said, "Headmaster, this is the invitation card. They are inviting you to fight at Zhangshuan Sect." The old man did not accept the invitation card because if he accepted it, he would have to fight. If he did not accept, he would be laughed at to death. "Headmaster, quickly accept it." The middle-aged man in the vicinity urged. "Headmaster, you are so strong. You must let them see how powerful you are." There are several old men here. They are sneering again and again. It seems like they are waiting to see the old man make a fool of himself. The old man stiffened. He knew that Zhangshuan Sect's chief disciple is very strong. If he accepted the invitation and lost, he would lose a lot of face. If he did not accept it, it meant he was afraid. If he accepted and did not go, he would be laughed at by others. The old man looked at the several old men in the crowd and calmly said, "Everyone, when I went out to recruit disciples, I encountered a powerful evil beast and was seriously injured. I am afraid I cannot accept the challenge. But my Floating Cloud Sect has many heroes. Who is willing to accept this invitation card and go to Zhangshuan Sect?" A fat old man sneered and said, "Headmaster, he is challenging Floating Cloud Sect's headmaster. As the headmaster, you must accept the challenge. I am seriously injured. My bones are injured. I will most likely be crippled in the future. I am willing to pass the position of headmaster to you. Whoever is willing to accept the invitation card will be the headmaster." The old man loudly shouted. From his appearance, he does not look like he is injured at all. Qin Yun is so angry that he wants to laugh. He has never seen such a good-for-nothing headmaster. A chief disciple sent him a challenge card, yet he was so scared that he directly gave up the position of headmaster. Qin Yun thought about it and felt that it was normal because Floating Cloud Sect had not fallen to such a state. Being the headmaster of Floating Cloud Sect is not good. He would also be ridiculed and beaten by a chief disciple. The disciples and elders of Floating Cloud Sect are all silent at this time. How could they not see that the headmaster is afraid of death and afraid of being laughed at? That is why he is not willing to go. "Headmaster, I have a plan," a middle-aged man suddenly said. "What plan? Quickly say it," the old man urged. "How about this? We will have a farewell meal, and then disband Floating Cloud Sect." The middle-aged man said with a smile. Qin Yun thought that it was a brilliant plan, but after hearing it, he could not help but roll his eyes. "Scram! If Floating Cloud Sect disbands, we will suffer retribution. When we joined Floating Cloud Sect, we made a firm oath that we would never betray Floating Cloud Sect and never disband it." The old man said, "Then we will not accept the invitation card. We will pretend that this matter never happened." The middle-aged man said again, No. If we don't accept, that mountain will be completely theirs. We must not lose that mountain, otherwise we will all be finished." The old man said very anxiously. Suddenly, the old man looked at Qin Yun. His old eyes flickered. He said with a mischievous smile, "Yun, when I first saw you, I knew that you are talented and have boundless future. You will surely be able to command the wind and clouds and dominate a region. As long as you are willing, the position of Floating Cloud Sect's headmaster is yours." Isn't this a bit too hasty? Qin Yun feels that this is very funny. Not at all. This is a great opportunity for you. You just arrived here, and you can already become the headmaster of Floating Cloud Sect. This is a very rare opportunity. After the old man finished speaking, he looked at the group of disciples and said, "Look, none of them oppose you becoming the headmaster." Everyone nodded again and again. Qin Yun now understands that the headmaster of Floating Cloud Sect is mainly used to ward off all kinds of retribution. Don't worry, with your strength, it will be very easy for you to deal with the chief disciple of Tsangshuan Sect. The old man said with a smile, "I also experienced the same thing back then. Back then, the chief disciple of Tsangshuan Sect challenged me. We fought for thousands of rounds, and finally, because I was careless and tripped, I was defeated. But I won the praise of the entire Great Dragon Desolate Domain." Qin Yun feels that this old man was also tricked by the previous headmaster. Now it is his turn to trick others. "All right, I agree to become the headmaster." Qin Yun nodded and said, "Very good." The old man laughed out loud. His face is rotten from laughing. He quickly pulled Qin Yun to the largest wooden building in front of them. Other people also cheered. A middle-aged man happily shouted, "We have a new headmaster. New headmaster is invincible. New headmaster is invincible. New headmaster is invincible. New headmaster is invincible." Many people cheered as if a heavy burden had been lifted from their shoulders. Qin Yun very much wants to know how Floating Cloud Sect declined so much that they have this kind of mentality. The old man took Qin Yun into the wooden building and said with a smile, "You can call me Eldigwa from now on. Headmaster, take this." Qin Yun took a black token that was only the size of a palm. "What is this?" Qin Yun frowned. "Floating Cloud Token. It is the Headmaster's supreme divine weapon. It can save your life in a critical moment." Elder Guan said with a smile, "As long as you voluntarily drip a drop of blood on it and infiltrate a wisp of your soul into it, you will be our Floating Cloud Sect's headmaster." After Qin Yun dripped a drop of blood, he put a wisp of his soul into it. "Headmaster, Elder Gua saw Qin Yun take the floating cloud token and very happily shouted, "Headmaster is invincible. Headmaster will never die." He pulled Qin Yun out and shouted, "Headmaster is invincible. Headmaster will never die." Others also followed and shouted, "Headmaster is invincible. Headmaster will never die." Qin Yun was speechless hearing this. Then, Elder Gua gave the invitation to Qin Yun and said with smile, "Headmaster, I will leave the matter going to Zhongshuan's sect to you. We believe that you will be able to defeat the chief disciple." Qin Yun saw a few old men below. Their faces are filled with schadenfreude. They are all elders. "Are we going now?" Qin Yun asked. He didn't think it was a big deal. His face has been very calm. "Yes, the 3 sects should be there. You should quickly go." After Elder Gua finished speaking, he waved to a thin, bearded, middle-aged man. "Thin Cat, you take headmaster to Zhongshuan's sect." Elder Gua said, "This time, we will not go. We all have important things to do." The bearded, middle-aged man contemptuously looked at Qin Yun and said, "Elder, can he really do it? He seems to be an earth immortal. Will he be beaten to death?" "Thin Cat, how can you say that?" Elder was scolded. "Headmaster is invincible. How can he be beaten to death? Don't talk nonsense. Quickly go with headmaster." "Let's go," Qin Yun said. "I will go too. After all, I am the great elder. The person who will help the headmaster collect the corpse. There must be a senior." A tall and strong old man with a lame leg said with a gloomy face. He slowly walked out with a wooden staff. "Old cripple, say a few good words. Don't scare headmaster." Elder Gua laughed. "It's okay. He will definitely come back." Others seemed to know what was going on, but they did not say it. They still very hypocritically praised Qin Yun. Chapter 1503. Below Floating Cloud Mountain, Great Elder, how did your leg get injured? Can't you cure it? Qin Yun suddenly asked. "I don't want to cure it. It's good like this." Old Cripple said. "Sect Master, you should worry about yourself. This trip bodes ill rather than well." Old Cripple and Thin Cat are walking very slowly. At this rate, it will take them several days to reach the floating cloud heavenly mountain. Thin Cat is very thin. He looks like a bag of bones. Coupled with the beard on his face, he indeed looks like a cat. It is not strange that he is called Thin Cat. Qin Yun sighed inwardly. One of his fellow disciples was a crippled old man, and the other was a skinny middle-aged man. Old Cripple is a Tao immortal. He seems a bit more powerful than that trash sect master. Thin Cat is also a Tao immortal. No wonder he was sent to bring Qin Yun to Zhongshuan's sect. Thin Cat said, "Sect Master, we are only accompanying you this time. We are not responsible for fighting. I won't hide it from you. Floating Cloud sect is very weak. Forget about Zhongshuan's sect's chief disciple. Even a second-rate disciple can exterminate Floating Cloud sect. Isn't it just a fight?" Qin Yun said, "If we can't beat them, then we can't beat them. Don't tell me they will kill us." Old Cripple said, "Sect Master, you don't know. Zhongshuan's sect and our Floating Cloud sect have an agreement to fight every 1,000 years. Originally, it was a fight between sect masters, but because our sect master was too weak, their chief disciple came to challenge them. Don't tell me they will kill their chief disciple if they can't beat them?" Qin Yun said with a smile. "It won't go that far, right?" Old Cripple snorted. "If the chief disciple is a man, it won't go that far. But the problem is that the chief disciple of Zhongshuan's sect is a woman, and you are a man. The other party is a woman, and they want to kill me? What kind of logic is this?" Qin Yun asked. "Because there is an agreement. As long as the other side send a woman, if the woman loses, she will become your cultivation furnace." Thin Cat said with sneer, "Sect Master, do you think that the other side's chief disciple will let you go? Cultivation cauldron is an evil cultivation technique that uses yin to nourish yang. It can suck a woman dry to quickly obtain formidable power." Qin Yun was taken aback as he said with a frown, "Who made this agreement? Why did you make such an agreement?" "The previous Floating Cloud sect masters. He made this agreement because he wanted the female sect master of the Zhongshuan sect to become his cultivation cauldron. In the end, he lost and lost our mountain peak. Old Cripple said angrily. At that time, the sect master was very young and arrogant, and the female sect master of the Sanchuan sect was also very young. That's why they made such a bet. In order to humiliate us, the Sanchuan sect would invite us to participate in their grand event every 1,000 years and conveniently fight us. If we don't accept the challenge, they will destroy that mountain. Skinny Cat said, Headmaster, this is something you should know. Now you know that it's not easy to be the headmaster of Floating Cloud, right? If the Sanchuan sect destroyed the Floating Cloud's heavenly mountain, the disciples of the Floating Cloud sect would suffer. Floating Cloud sect's disciples seemed to fear some kind of retribution power, so they had to fight every 1,000 years. Otherwise, if Floating Cloud Heavenly Mountain was destroyed, they would be killed by the retribution power. Qin Yun now understands the situation, but he doesn't think much about it. The pressure of defeating the chief disciple of the other side is not that big. If the other side's chief disciple is a kind-hearted girl, she won't kill you because as long as she defeats you, she won't become your cultivation cauldron. Of course, if she hates evil as if it's her enemy, it's not necessarily the case. Old Cripple said with a smile. Qin Yun said, Don't worry, nothing will happen to me. He took out a compass used to probe the Floating Cloud Heavenly Seal and pointed it at the mountain peak. If I defeat the female chief disciple, I can take back control of the mountain peak, right? Qin Yun asked. He is now certain that the Floating Cloud Heavenly Seal is inside the mountain peak. Not only that, you can also make the female chief disciple your cultivation cauldron. Skinny Cat said with sneer, but that is just wishful thinking. Sanchuan sect is very strong. Skinny Cat and Old Cripple are Tao immortals. They are very clear about this matter. And Qin Yun is just an earth immortal. He doesn't have any chance to win. Qin Yun looked at the blue mountain peak that soars into the clouds and suddenly has a very familiar feeling. He also can't say what kind of feeling it is. Very familiar. It seems like that mountain not only has the Floating Cloud Heavenly Seal's imprint body, there must be other important things inside. Qin Yun secretly clenched his fists. He must regain control of that mountain. He suddenly increased his speed and madly rushed forward. Old Cripple promptly yelled, Sect Master, don't go so fast. Qin Yun stopped and asked, Why? Isn't it better to go earlier? Slow down a bit. If we go too early and the battle hasn't even started, we will be laughed at by others. Skinny Cat hastily said, Let's go slowly. We just arrived and the battle has just started. This is the best. Old Cripple said again, Look at us, we can't go fast. I will go by myself. You don't need to follow me. I want to quickly go take a look at that mountain. Qin Yun said, Sect Master, we really can't go fast. You must take us with you. If you go alone, you don't understand the rules there. You will cause trouble. Maybe before the battle even starts, you will be humiliated by them. Old Cripple limped over. Sect Master, why are you so headstrong? I just told you the worst-case scenario. Don't tell me you still don't understand. Skinny Cat also ran over. Old Cripple sighed and said, We are all pitiful people. We were tricked into joining Floating Cloud sect, but who would have thought that it would be a heavenly pit? We are all from Immortal Desolate. Once we join Floating Cloud sect, we can't leave. We can't leave Great Dragon Desolate Domain. Skinny Cat also said, Sect Master, you should listen to us. This will let you live for a few more days. Qin Yun looked at Old Cripple and Skinny Cat. He knows that it is not easy for them. He hesitated for a while and said, You guys wait. I will make something. While speaking, he took out many beast bones and immortal iron. All of them are of poor quality. Sect Master, what are you doing? Old Cripple asked. Qin Yun did not speak. He took out the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron and burned the materials inside. Very soon, he refined 4 large wheels and a very large carriage. From start to finish, it took less than an hour. Old Cripple and Skinny Cat are endlessly amazed. They can see that this sect master knows a bit of tool refining technique. After Qin Yun finished, he smeared some golden paint on the outside of the carriage. making it look sparkling with golden light. "All right, let's go up." Qin Yun opened the carriage's door, jumped up, and said with smile, "We won't be tired if we go like this." Skinny Cat, an old cripple, promptly walked up, sat on the soft cushion inside, leaned against the iron wall of the carriage, and exclaimed in admiration again and again. Because they have been here for so many years, they have never seen such a good thing. "Sectmaster, you are very awesome." Skinny Cat finished speaking and sighed again. "I hope you can pass this trial. If you pass smoothly, you will have 1,000 years of good days." Old Cripple said, "Sectmaster, just do as I say, don't care about face. Go to the Tsanshuan sect's mountain peak, admit defeat, and kneel down. That female chief disciple might not kill you." Qin Yun said with smile, "I have my own method. Nothing will happen." In order to quickly reach the mountain, Qin Yun made this carriage. Originally, he wanted to leave behind Old Cripple and Skinny Cat, but found out that their life is also bitter, so he decided to bring them along. Half a day later, the carriage arrived at the foot of the mountain. One cannot fly in the Great Dragon Desolate Domain. If they want to reach the mountain peak, they have to walk the long stone stairs. It is also very difficult to walk up. There is a door at the bottom of the stone stairs. Two sturdy men wearing armor are standing there. Their cultivation is only earth immortal. They saw a dazzling golden carriage and thought that some big shot has arrived. They promptly walked over with a smile on their faces. But when they saw the people who opened the door are Old Cripple and Skinny Cat, the smile on their faces suddenly disappeared. "How come it's you?" one man said with sneer. "Where did you get this carriage?" "Oh, that's right. Where's that trash sectmaster of yours?" Qin Yun was the last to get off the carriage. Then he stored the carriage. "I am the new Fuyun sect master," Qin Yun indifferently said. "Ah, so that trash sect master finally tricked someone else to take over, ha ha ha. And such a young person at that." The large man guarding the gate laughed heartily. "This guy is very confident. Could it be that he wants to defeat Senior Sister?" The other guard said in ridicule. "He wants Senior Sister to be his cultivation cauldron? This guy will die very miserably." Qin Yun did not say anything. He said to Old Cripple and Skinny Cat, "Let's go up." Just as he took 2 steps forward, a guard extended his hand and stopped him. "Go up? You still haven't paid the toll. This is our rule. Don't tell me that you, the new sect master, don't know about it," the guard said with sneer. Qin Yun looked at Skinny Cat and Old Cripple. They nodded their heads. Old Cripple took out a black iron from his sleeve with great difficulty and said, "Two big brothers, this is for you. This is best quality immortal iron. We don't want this kind of trash." The guard looked at Qin Yun and shouted, "You, hand over the carriage and the storage magic tool. Otherwise, don't even think about going up." Qin Yun frowned and said, "Is there such a rule to climb this mountain?" The guard laughed loudly and said, "Of course. Trash like you, Fuyun sect, don't have the qualification to go up. Who made the rule that we have to pay a toll to go up the mountain? Call out the person who set the rule. I want to ask him face to face." Qin Yun said in cold voice. "Ha ha ha." The 2 guards burst into laughter. "Who set the rule? Of course it was set by your grandfather. If you don't give us the thing, don't even think about going up. If you force us, we will attack." One guard said and took out a sharp, large saber. It seems to be a very good immortal tool. Chapter 1504. Sect Master shows his might. They are very envious of these guards for having such good immortal tools because they don't have them. Qin Yun calmly said, "I don't want to fight with you and also don't want to injure you. I don't want to form enmity with your Tsangshuan sect. So I'll give you a chance. Don't bother me again." "Ha ha ha. You want to injure us with just you? You unlucky guy. You took over the position of Floating Cloud Sect Master, but still act so recklessly." The guard is still laughing loudly. Old Cripple hastily walked over and firmly grabbed Qin Yun, pulling him back. Thin Cat walked towards the burly man and said, "Big brother, our sect master has just taken over the position and doesn't know the rules. Please don't take offense. Make that guy hand over his carriage and storage tools. Otherwise, don't even think about going up the mountain." The guard coldly groaned and said, Thin Cat knows that those things are very precious, so he didn't make Qin Yun hand them over. Old Cripple said, Sect Master, let's not go up first. We will wait here. If the battle starts and they still don't see us, we will tell them the reason. It is these two guards who don't want us to go up. Thin Cat nodded and said, That's right. Sangshuan sect clearly invited us, but they don't want us to go up. They want to force us to hand over our things. This is their fault. Damn Thin Ghost, you say this is our fault? You are courting death. The burly man furiously shouted, quickly walked up and vigorously slashed at Thin Cat with a saber. Thin Cat looks very thin, but his speed is very fast. He was able to dodge that thrilling saber strike. However, the other guard also attacked. He slapped at Thin Cat's face, sending him flying and landing in front of Qin Yun. Thin Cat is a Dao immortal, but he doesn't dare to fight back, because if he injures Sangshuan sect's people, Floating Cloud sect will be implicated. Moreover, Thin Cat's body is very weak. It can be seen that his injuries are not light. Moreover, he hasn't recovered for many years. That's why he is so thin. Thin Cat's mouth is full of blood after being slapped. He crawled up from the ground with great difficulty. Qin Yun hastily helped him up. Thin Cat can also sense that Qin Yun's body is boiling with terrible anger. It is filled with a fierce and tyrannical aura. Qin Yun is suppressing the anger in his heart. He tried his best to restrain himself and sent power into the skinny cat's body to help him stabilize his injuries. Thin Cat sensed that Qin Yun's strength was not weak and was secretly alarmed. You three bastards, why don't you just do as we say? Can't you just hand it over obediently? The guard said angrily. Then, he charged over and brandished his broadsword at Skinny Cat. Die! The furious Qin Yun quickly extended 2 fingers and caught the falling saber. At the same time, he shot out a piercing mountain-splitting earth finger. There was a loud boom. The fierce and ferocious force pierced through one of the guard's eyes, piercing through his skull. Bang! Following that, Qin Yun struck out with the exploding heaven finger and shattered the head. Crack! The saber that was clamped between the 2 fingers also broke. Seeing this scene, Old Cripple and Skinny Cat were scared silly. Their new sect master had killed the guards of the Sangshuan sect. The other guard's face was also filled with fear. He could tell that this new Floating Cloud sect master wasn't someone who could be easily bullied. You killed someone from my Sangshuan sect. The guard shouted in horror. Just you wait. The guard hurriedly ran towards the stone stairs. Qin Yun shot 2 exploding heaven finger power at the guard's legs and broke them. After you go up, truthfully report the situation to the upper echelons of the Sangshuan sect. Tell them to come down and meet me personally. Qin Yun said coldly, If they don't come down, I will guard here. As long as the Sangshuan sect disciples come down, they must pay the toll. If they don't, I will beat them up. The guard screamed in pain and grabbed a long vine hanging down from the top of the mountain, letting it pull him up. Because they couldn't fly, going up and down was very time-consuming. Therefore, the Sangshuan sect disciples had to rely on those mysterious long vines to get up and down the mountain. Old Cripple looked at Skinny Cat. Both of them didn't dare to speak at this moment. They didn't expect that the sect master, who only had the cultivation of a 9th-layer earth immortal, would have such a terrifying aura. Soon, 2 old men slid down while pulling the grass vines. They also brought the guard whose legs were broken. The 2 old men were Dao immortals. Old Cripple and Skinny Cat became very worried when they saw the 2 old men. Elders, this is our Floating Cloud sect's new sect master. Old Cripple promptly said, Is he the one who injured our guards and even killed one of them? The elder said in cold voice, It was me. It was also because they attacked first. Qin Yun said, Moreover, they also demanded toll from me. One of the old men looked at the legless guard and said in cold voice, Is this true? We were just joking with them. The guard said in panic, Elder, they're just a bunch of weak chickens. Besides, I only wanted to kill that skinny ghost. What does that damn skinny ghost count as? If I kill him, then I kill him. Just as he finished speaking, Qin Yun fiercely pointed with 2 fingers and shot out exploding heaven finger power that landed on the guard's body. Boom! An explosion shook the area, and a large amount of sparks flew. The guard was killed. Qin Yun said in a cold voice, "Elders of Songshuan's sect, you heard it just now. He wanted to kill my floating cloud sect disciple, so I killed him. Do you have any dissatisfaction?" The two old men, Skinny Cat and Old Cripple, were all stunned, because they could feel the arrogant momentum on Qin Yun's body. It was absolutely not an act. It was because he had enough confidence and strength that he could have this kind of intimidating aura. "Can we go up the mountain now?" Qin Yun said indifferently. "I didn't want to incur enmity with you this time, but you also saw that your people were too arrogant. Let alone these two little things. Even if it was you, if you dared to say in front of me that you wanted to kill Floating Cloud Sect's disciple, I would also kill you." Are you really the new Floating Cloud Sect Master?" One of the elders reacted and said in a cold voice, "I will definitely inform the Songshuan Sect Master about you killing my guards and also all the disciples of Songshuan Sect." Qin Yin took out the black Floating Cloud token and said, "This is the Floating Cloud token. I am the Floating Cloud Sect Master. By the way, you better tell your Songshuan Sect disciples that whoever wants to kill my Floating Cloud Sect disciple should be prepared to be killed by me. Not only your disciples, even if your Songshuan Sect Master has such thoughts, I will also kill him." "Don't be so arrogant," the elders said angrily. "You are the arrogant ones. You invited me here, but stopped me and demanded my belongings. What is the meaning of this?" Qin Yun shouted coldly. You're just an earth immortal. How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? I am a Tao immortal. I am Elder Songshuan." The elder shouted angrily. "If you want to die, don't talk so much nonsense. Just attack me, and I will immediately send you on your way." Qin Yin took out the floating cloud rod. His calm eyes suddenly turned cold, emitting a fierce aura, causing the two old men's hearts to tremble. "You can go up the mountain, but you can't use our vines. Those vines are planted by our Songshuan sect." The elder admitted defeat. "They can't attack the Floating Cloud Sect Master. This is what Songshuan Sect Master has warned them many times." The two Songshuan Sect elders pulled the vines and suddenly went up. Then all the vines were taken back. "We will go up." Qin Yin looked at Old Cripple and Skinny Cat and asked, "Can you walk?" Old Cripple and Skinny Cat can now see that Qin Yun is not ordinary, especially his imposing manner. It is not something anyone can have. Otherwise, an Earth Immortal would not be able to scare away two Tao Immortal Elders. "We can walk. We have walked this stairway before." Skinny Cat promptly nodded and said, "Sect Master, if you become a Tao Immortal, maybe you can defeat their chief disciple." Old Cripple said, "Let's go up and take a look first. Even if I can't defeat her, I won't be killed." Qin Yin laughed and said, "I am not that weak." Now that he has arrived at the Floating Cloud Heavenly Mountain, even if he can't win, he can still explore the things hidden inside the mountain. The Floating Cloud Heavenly Mountain is very big. Even the top of the mountain can be built with many buildings. There's also a very spacious battle stage in the middle. Originally, those buildings and battle stage belonged to Floating Cloud Sect, but now they're all given to Songshuan Sect. After the two elders were scared away by Qin Yun came up with vines, a large group of Songshuan Sect disciples surrounded them. "Elder, where is the guard?" a disciple asked. "He was killed. The new Floating Cloud Sect Master killed the guards right in front of me." "That bastard, he is so arrogant because he is the Floating Cloud Sect Master. He knows that we can't attack him," an elder said angrily. The other elder is also very angry. "That guy is just temporarily arrogant. He will soon be taught a lesson." The Songshuan Sect disciples are in an uproar. The new Floating Cloud Sect Master killed someone in front of two elders. This made them very angry. "That bullshit Sect Master will be killed by Senior Sister very soon. They can only walk the stone stairway. It will take a long time for them to come up, right? Elder, you can't kill him, but you can beat him up. Didn't the guard say that he is an Earth Immortal? You two are Tao Immortals. Why don't you beat him up?" "That's right. He killed two guards in front of you, and those two guards are also our disciples." Can't our Sangshuan sect do something? What do you know? We invited them to fight, but we beat them up at the entrance. If this gets out, people will laugh at our Sangshuan sect. An elder coldly snorted and said, Our Sangshuan sect will defeat that sect master fair and square. A disciple shouted, The people of other sects are coming to participate in the grand meeting. At that time, we must let senior sister kill the floating cloud sect master on the battle stage. A middle-aged man laughed. Don't mention senior sister. Even I can kill that trash sect master, huh? You can kill me? Qin Yun's voice suddenly sounded. He and the skinny cat, old cripple, slowly walked up the stone stairway. The two elders were shocked because they had already put away the hanging vines, but Qin Yun and the others still came up so quickly. Chapter 1505. On the heavenly mount, how did you come up so fast? The elder asked in astonishment. Of course we walked up. Qin Yun looked at the middle-aged man who wanted to kill him and asked, You were the one who said you could kill me, right? Come here, if you can kill me, it's my loss. Although everyone was shocked by how Qin Yun and the other two came up, they felt disdain for Qin Yun's arrogance. They looked at Qin Yun with disdain. Sect Master Fu Yun, you should know that this mountain belongs to our Sangshuan sect. It no longer belongs to your Fu Yun sect. Why are you being so arrogant in our territory? The elder coldly snorted. This brat is the weakest sect master in the history of Fu Yun sect. It's understandable that he is young and frivolous. Does he think he can challenge our Sangshuan sect just because he killed two weak guards? Truly arrogant and conceited. The middle-aged man walked out and said with sneer, Little demon, senior sister doesn't need to do anything. I can kill you with one hand. Do you dare to fight me here? Qin Yun walked over. The middle-aged man is a second-stage Dao immortal. His cultivation is higher than the two guards, but Qin Yun is not afraid of him. Little demon, you were tricked into becoming sect master, right? Do you really think that floating cloud sect master is so awesome? The hundreds of Sangshuan sect disciples roared with laughter. Sect Master Fu Yun is nothing in the eyes of our Sangshuan sect disciples. Yet you still dare to be so arrogant. Fu Yun Heavenly Mountain has been renamed Sangshuan Heavenly Mountain. It will forever be ours. We invited you to participate in the grand meeting to humiliate you. If you don't come, we will destroy this mountain and kill you bunch of idiots. That's why you come here with your tails between your legs every year. Ha ha. New sect Master Fu Yun. You came here to humiliate us and make us laugh. Do you really think you can defeat Senior Sister and make her your cultivation cauldron? It's already a bit insulting for Senior Sister to fight him. He still wants to get Senior Sister? He can't even dream about it. Thinking of Senior Sister exchanging pointers with this stupid sect master, we feel very distressed. The Sangshuan sect disciples look down on Fu Yun sect from the bottom of their hearts. After all, Fu Yun sect has been declining for so many years. Sangshuan sect occupied Fu Yun Heavenly Mountain and humiliated their sect master. This made them extremely happy and even more arrogant. Qin Yun said indifferently, I came to take back Fu Yun Heavenly Mountain. Also, even if I defeat your senior sister, I won't make her become my cultivation cauldron. Sect is an orthodox sect. We don't cultivate evil arts. Fu Yun, then you want to let senior sister marry you? The middle-aged man smiled awkwardly and said, Senior sister is so beautiful. Normal people would not let her be a cultivation cauldron. You bunch of narrow-minded fellows, don't take that senior sister too seriously. Qin Yun sighed lightly. In this great dragon desolate domain, the strongest is only a golden immortal. When I was in the immortal desolate, I saw many immortal king and immortal emperor women. The Sangshuan sect disciples were stunned for a moment before bursting into laughter. Skinny Cat, an old cripple behind Qin Yun, are secretly astonished because they believe Qin Yun's words. Qin Yun came from immortal desolate. His knowledge is definitely different. This is ridiculous. Is this guy sick in the head? I have never seen this kind of guy. It seems like he is not arrogant, but rather brainless. That middle-aged man pointed at Qin Yun and laughed loudly. I'm a 9th-tier Earth Immortal, and you're a 2nd-tier Tao Immortal. Your cultivation is much higher than mine. Do you dare to exchange a punch with me? Qin Yun said, Didn't you stand up to kill me? Let's exchange a palm strike. If you can't kill me, then don't talk nonsense. Joke? If I, a 2nd-layered Tao Immortal, can't kill you after exchanging a palm strike with you, then wouldn't I be worse than a dog? The middle-aged man laughed and said, If I can't kill you, then from today onwards, I will be a dog. Qin Yun sneered. His arm suddenly swelled up. He released the Nether Sun totem and poured it into his arm, then rushed forward. The middle-aged man stood on the spot. His palm also condensed very formidable Tao immortal power. He laughed loudly and said, Come, I will cripple you with one palm strike. When Qin Yun rushed over, he took slow steps. This is the life extinction 9 steps. This kind of palm strike competition will give him enough time to use the life extinction 9 steps. After 9 steps, Qin Yun's body inexplicably burst out with even more formidable immortal power. Along with the Nether Sun power, it ferociously rushed into his arm and became incomparably formidable through the Nether Sun totem. Qin Yun pushed his palm forward and unleashed the heaven-killing palm. Immediately, killing intent overflowed to the sky. Boundless killing intent enveloped the middle-aged man, causing him to feel incomparable fear. Boom! 2 palms collided and produced a burst of oppressive explosion sound. A violent gale surged out and blew the surrounding people into a complete mess. After calming down, everyone is dumbstruck. They looked at the place just now. The upper half of the middle-aged man's body has disappeared. It was destroyed by a single palm strike. As for Qin Yun, he stood there steadily. Overconfident guy, you dare to provoke a sect master. You are really courting death. Qin Yun clasped his hands behind his back, coldly looked at the disciples, and proudly said, I am now just a 9th-layer Earth Immortal. If I had the cultivation of a 9th-layer Tao Immortal, it would be a piece of cake for me to wash the Zhongshuan sect with blood. The Zhongshuan sect disciples are incomparably furious. The Floating Cloud sect's sect master dared to kill people in their Zhongshuan sect in front of so many disciples. Of course, they can see that this new sect master is very imposing, not like the previous useless sect masters. But no matter how strong he is just an Earth Immortal. They have many Tao Immortals on their side, but now they are being provoked by an Earth Immortal. Old Cripple and Thin Cat are scared silly because they can feel the monstrous killing intent of the Zhongshuan sect disciples. They are in the Zhongshuan sect's territory. The Zhongshuan sect disciples surrounding them are only a small portion. They are all the weaker ones. The truly powerful Zhongshuan sect disciples have not come out yet. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud rod and coldly shouted, What? You want to attack together? Come on, idiots of the Zhongshuan sect. Come at me together. Qin Yun's heart is full of anger. The Zhongshuan sect invited him here. Not only did they not show any courtesy, but they also let the disciples ridicule the floating cloud sect. All of you leave. Don't be rude to the guest. A powerful voice came from a tall building in the distance. Yes, sect master, an elder said, and then drove the group of disciples away. The Zhongshuan sect master said again, He is a guest. Not only did we not treat the guest well, but we also spoke ill of the guest. This is our fault. Sect master, he killed our disciple. A middle-aged man said unwillingly, Are we just going to let him go like this? His skill was inferior, yet he provoked a sect master. Who can he blame for his death? The Zhongshuan sect master said coldly, knowing that the other party is a sect master, yet still underestimating the opponent. He deserved to be killed. The disciples did not speak at this time. The middle-aged man who was killed just now did not expect that the young sect master would be so powerful. Properly entertain Floating Cloud sect's esteemed guest. The Zhongshuan sect master said again, As long as we defeat Zhongshuan's chief disciple, our Floating Cloud sect will be able to take back the Floating Cloud Heavenly Mountain, right? Qin Yun asked in a loud voice. Yes, so long as you win. we will leave the floating cloud heavenly mountain. But this time, you have no chance of winning. Our Sanchuan chief disciple is a 9th level Dao immortal. There are only 10 days left until the battle. At this time, an elder walked over with a mocking expression and said, "Let's go. I will bring you to stay. No need to trouble you." Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda and placed it at the edge. Old Cripple and Thin Cat followed him and went to the first floor to rest. Qin Yun arrived at the 20th floor, took out a few divine fruits that he plucked earlier and gave them to Mo. Mo can make the sacred infant fruit release energy and let the divine fruits ripen. First become a Dao immortal. Dao immortal realm. I should cultivate that small hammer, Qin Yun said. Heavenly Dao's ferocious power, Heavenly Lion, has already been cultivated to perfection. Nether Sun Totem has already appeared. Next is to cultivate Heavenly Dao Flame's ferocious power, that small hammer that looks exactly like 9 Sun Divine Hammer. The elder saw Qin Yun and the others enter the broken stone building and disdainfully snorted. "No need. We will entertain you even better. All elders, come over." The Sanchuan sect master's voice enveloped the entire mountain peak. Not long after, more than a dozen elders gathered in the luxurious hall of the tall building. "Sect master, did you gather us because of that sect master floating clouds matter?" An elder asked. "No, the new floating cloud sect master is indeed very strong, but he is not enough to be feared. Just don't go provoke him." Sanchuan's sect master waved his hand. This is an old man with a long beard. He has kind eyes and brows. When he speaks, his voice is very calm, neither fast nor slow. A middle-aged elder furiously said, "He killed 2 of our guards. Then after coming up, he also killed a disciple. Don't tell me we just let it go like this?" Sanchuan's sect master slowly said, "Then what do you want? Go and kill him?" He has the floating cloud token in his hand. Once the person with the token dies, the floating cloud heavenly mountain will also perish. This is just a lie from the floating cloud sect's trash. The middle-aged elder said again, "Go ahead and give it a try." Sanchuan sect master's expression became stern. The floating cloud heavenly mountain is hiding a very big secret, and the floating cloud token is the key to unraveling the secret. Don't act recklessly. The middle-aged man didn't dare to speak again. They've been guarding the floating cloud heavenly mountain for so long, but they still couldn't find the secret of the mountain. Sanchuan's sect master's expression eased a little and unhurriedly said, "This time, I gathered you here to discuss the competition with the other 2 sects. The appearance of the evil Yang race has caused the great dragon desolate domain to become very unstable. We must unite the powerful sects of the great dragon desolate domain to fight against the evil Yang race and exterminate them." Chapter 1506. Northern Wind Flood Dragon. The 3 sects were very curious about what the Xieyang race was looking for in the Flood Dragon Desolate region. The Xieyang race spent a lot of effort to come to the Flood Dragon Desolate region, and even used the power of Xieyang. Sect Master, is the thing the Xieyang race is looking for really in this floating cloud sky mountain? A middle-aged man asked. It's now called Sanchuan Sky Mountain. Do you really think that floating cloud sect trash can take back this mountain? An elder smiled and said, "Remember, this is Sanchuan Sky Mountain. The new sect master of floating cloud sect is quite powerful. If we want to know the secret of this mountain, we must make him voluntarily use the floating cloud token and take us into the secret room." The sect master sighed. "The previous floating cloud sect master refused to take us in. I hope this young man can cooperate with us." "How is that possible? He killed 3 of our disciples the moment he came. Will this guy cooperate with us?" "Sect master, we can't go on like this. Why don't we use some tricks?" "That's right. Why talk about righteousness with him? Floating cloud sect trash is not worthy of us talking about morality with them." The Sanchuan sect master shook his head. "You don't know how powerful the founder of floating cloud sect is. He is a very mysterious and powerful existence. His floating cloud sky mountain and floating cloud token are very magical things. We must not mess around. The past floating cloud sect masters were able to live well because of the floating cloud token. Otherwise, they would have died long ago. How could they live so well? The other elders had always wanted to take action against floating cloud sect, but the Canshuan sect master had misgivings and did not agree. Don't think about floating cloud sect master anymore. The new floating cloud sect master is in floating cloud sky mountain. If we kill the sect master with a floating cloud token, we may be punished by sky mountain. The Canshuan sect master sternly warned. The other elders could only nod. Sect master, how will the three sects compete next? North Wind Valley's strength is on par with us, and Hong Longshan's strength is unfathomable. An elder said with a solemn expression. The Canshuan sect, North Wind Valley, and Hong Longshan are the three great sects of the Flood Dragon Desolate region. They are evenly matched, especially Hong Longshan. He has some relationship with Floating Cloud Heavenly Mountain. He once received help from Ancestor Floating Cloud. Sect Master Canshuan stepped down from his seat and sighed. But no matter what, there must be a competition this time. Otherwise, none of our three sects will be willing to submit to the other. A middle-aged man nodded. If we don't work together, the evil Yang race will be able to do whatever they want here. The evil Yang race saw that we were in a state of disunity, so they became very arrogant. Sect Master Tsang Xian said, "Send people out to pay attention to the Xie Yang race's movements. I'm worried that they will come here to cause trouble." Sect Leader Bei Feng and Sect Leader Hong Long should be here soon, right? We have to go out and welcome them. We must have a good attitude. Don't mess things up. Qin Yun calmly cultivated in the floating cloud pagoda. What made him pleasantly surprised is that the divine fruits on the divine mountain are actually very delicious. That little girl Yuan Mei will definitely be happy to death. Qin Yun ate the divine fruit and smiled. However, he was puzzled. Why are these divine fruits so delicious? Is it because of the mountain god? Ling Yun said with smile. It should be, because the mountain god is transformed from a human. The divine fruits he grows are very suitable for human tastes. Qin Yun ate a few divine fruits in one go. He discovered that only the first 3 divine fruits are effective. The last 2 are useless. Although only 3 divine fruits are effective, it is enough for me to step into the first level of Dao Immortal Realm. Qin Yun began circulating his cultivation technique. Xiao Yun, your mental power has increased very quickly, but you have been unable to open the 5th pearl of the 9-Sun Divine Spirit. Ling Yun said, I wonder what's inside the 5th pearl. A little black donkey ran out of the 4th pearl and let me obtain the Xianwu totem. The harvest can only be considered ordinary. Qin Yun said with smile, the defense of a Xianwu totem is very good. It is best used to refine defensive equipment. So you're saying that you're not optimistic about the things inside the 5th pearl? Ling Yun said, it will be even better if there is something good. If there isn't, then just treat it as a storage space. Qin Yun is no longer looking forward to the things inside the 9-Sun Divine Spirit as much as before. I feel that the 5th pearl definitely has something good. Ling Yun said with certainty. Let's talk about it after I open it. After Qin Yun cultivated the one-thought Imperial Heaven Art, the Nethermoon's power increased very quickly. It means that his mental power has become stronger and stronger. One day later, Qin Yun checked the Nether Sun situation. Now he saw that the Heavenly Dao Flame's violent power has transformed into a hammer, and the Nether Sun Totem is gradually appearing. Dao Immortals and Golden Immortals cultivate the violent power of Heavenly Dao Flame. The Nether Sun Totem on the hammer and the little Heavenly Lion are different. Qin Yun is somewhat amazed. Could it be that there are many kinds of Nether Sun Totem? It should be. Heavenly Lion Totem, Dragon Totem, Sun Totem. There are many kinds of them. Of course, the most powerful one is the fusion of all 9 totems. That is the strongest. Ling Yun said, fusion of totems is not difficult. I just need to completely master the mysterious fusion heavenly rune. Qin Yun is now a Tao immortal, but his mastery over heavenly rune has not made much progress. Qin Yun has finally become a Tao immortal. He secretly sighed in admiration. It is truly good to be in the great era. The sun has descended with so many resources. I can advance by leaps and bounds. Otherwise, I would not have been able to break through so quickly. Not only him, most of the people and beasts in Immortal Desolate are the same. Before the world extermination, they relied on countless sun divine stones to become very strong in a short period of time. A burst of clamorous noise came from outside. Qin Yun arrived at the first floor and saw Old Cripple and Thin Cat. They are leaning on the window and looking outside. What's going on outside? Qin Yun asked. North Wind Valley and Honglong Mountains people have arrived. Sangshuan Sect's sect master, elders and disciples, are solemnly welcoming them. Old Cripple sighed and said, and before, they made things difficult for us in every possible way. This is the disparity. These bastards. Thin Cat is also very angry. Qin Yun also sought Sangshuan's sect master. Moreover, he is now walking over. Floating Cloud sect master, are you coming out to welcome Honglong Mountain and Northwind's friends? Sangshuan's sect master politely asked. I am seizing the time to cultivate. I won't go out. Besides, Floating Cloud Heavenly Mountain has already changed its name to Sangshuan Heavenly Mountain. You are the masters. Welcoming guests has nothing to do with me. Qin Yun said. He doesn't want to go out, otherwise he might cause a lot of trouble. An elder lightly groaned and said, I gave him face, but he refused it. That's right, he is seizing the time to cultivate. Only 10 days, how strong can he be? This guy must be afraid of losing face. North Wind Valley and Honglong Mountains, people will surely laugh at him to death. The young dean of the Floating Cloud sect has brought an old cripple and a skinny cat. They are here to make fun of us. Seeing that Qin Yun is not coming out, people outside coldly ridiculed him. Sangshuan's sect master said, Floating Cloud sect master, Honglong Mountain and Floating Cloud Mountain have a good relationship. You don't seem to know, right? Qin Yun looked at Old Cripple and Thin Cat. They nodded. Old Cripple said, Honglong Mountain is very polite to us, sect master. How about we go out? All right. Qin Yun lightly sighed, then opened the door of Floating Cloud Pagoda and walked out. After he went out, he released his Tao immortal aura. It released a very fierce and powerful aura. The Tao immortal disciples in the plaza sensed this aura, and their expression suddenly changed. After everyone recovered from their shock, they burst into an uproar. Yesterday, he was a 9th layer Earth immortal. Today, he is a Tao immortal. Moreover, his aura is so dreadful. Those people who were ridiculing Qin Yun earlier now have a very bad taste in their mouths because Qin Yun is about to break through and become a Tao immortal. Great Elder, how good is the relationship between Honglong Mountain and Floating Cloud sect? Qin Yun suddenly asked. They have helped us many times, Old Cripple said. Then our Floating Cloud sect is indebted to them. I will repay them. Qin Yun nodded his head. Sangshuan sect elders' faces are filled with disdain. Someone said in low voice, Repay? With what? Honglong Mountain is the richest sect in Flood Dragon Desolate Domain. At this time, 2 powerful golden immortal aura arrived. One of them has a very strong dragon power aura, and the other one is ice cold. Honglong sect master and Beifeng sect master have arrived. Everyone looked towards the vines at the edge of the mountain peak. The first to come up along the vines are 2 old men. Honglong sect leader was a tall and sturdy old man. He wore a red dragon cloak and a pair of red trousers. His upper body was bare, revealing his powerful muscles, and he gave off a very ferocious feeling. The other Beifeng sect master is wearing a white robe. He is tall and thin. His face is full of wrinkles. His pair of half-open eyes are filled with ice-cold air. Then, many Honglong Mountain and North Wind Valley disciples came up along the vines, a total of 200 to 300 people. In comparison, the disciples of the Great Dragon Mountain all gave off a very valiant and powerful feeling very bold and unrestrained. And North Wind Valley disciples are ice cold. Their faces are filled with cold arrogance. Sanchuan's sect master quickly went up and exchanged greetings with the two sect masters, then told them that Floating Cloud sect has changed sect masters. Honglong's sect master and Bei Feng's sect master immediately looked at Qingyun. Bei Feng's sect master coldly snorted. I guess that Olgua doesn't dare to come, so he tricked a little demon to take over the position of sect master. Honglong's sect master looked at Old Cripple and said with a smile, Great Elder, you change sect master is such an important matter. Why didn't you inform me, really? It happened suddenly. Old Cripple said with a smile. I am a new sect master of Floating Cloud sect. My name is Qingyun. Qingyun walked over and politely smiled at Honglong's sect master. I am Hong Quangang, the new sect master. We'll be together for a long time in the future. This is the first time Floating Cloud sect has such a young sect master. He seems very powerful. Hong Quangang said with a smile. TSK, what's the difference between this guy and those old trash? Beifeng's sect master said with disdain. An elder of Tsangshuan's sect sneered. Sect master Honglong. This new sect master heard that Honglong Mountain has done great kindness to Floating Cloud sect and said that he will repay you. Sect master Honglong, why don't you take out something to repay him? An old man mocked. Sect master Honglong, you should be a saber user, right? Qingyun said with smile, then took out a saber flickering with blue light and threw it over. Hong Quangang said, No need to thank me. This is what I, Honglong Mountain, should do. He received the saber and wanted to return it, but suddenly he said in shock, This is King Grade Immortal Saber? Chapter 1507. Broken Saber cannot break because the Great Dragon Desolate Domain has not been in contact with the outside world for many years. It is relatively backward in terms of inscription and tool refining. In addition, the old inscription masters in the Great Dragon Desolate Domain have gone to the Immortal Desolate, which led to a lack of outstanding inscription masters. The saber that Qingyun took out at this time looks like a very good saber from the outside. It made everyone on the scene envious, especially Sect Master Bei Feng, who is next to Hong Quangang. He stretched his neck to look at the runes on the saber. Hong Quangang fondled the saber admiringly and exclaimed, Good saber, good saber. Tsangshuan Sect Master's face is also filled with jealousy. He said with a smile, Congratulations to Sect Master Honglong for obtaining such a treasure saber. Sect Master Fuyun really did what he said. It is really unexpected for you to take out such a generous gift as thanks. The people who were laughing at Qingyun for not being able to take out good things now lowered their heads and didn't speak. They shrank into the crowd, worried that they would be laughed at. This is just a small gift to show my respect, Qingyun said with a smile. This is not a small gift. Hong Quangang said, This is really too precious, Sect Master Fuyun. Your Fuyun sect definitely needs this kind of weapon more than us. I will return it to you. Don't worry, I still have more. Qingyun waved his hand and said, Even if our Floating Cloud sect is equipped with good equipment, we won't be able to display our true power. But it is different in the hands of Sect Master Honglong. We will need your protection in the future. Hong Quangang said with a smile, Sect Master Fuyun, rest assured, in the Great Dragon Desolate Domain, whoever dares to bully you is bullying my Hong Longshan. He deliberately spoke very loudly, shaking the sky above the Fuyun heavenly mountain. This made the elders of the Tsangshuan sect feel an inexplicable pressure. They are very worried that Hong Quangang will retaliate against their Tsangshuan sect. The Tsangshuan sect disciples who previously laughed at Qingyun didn't dare to make a sound. Sect Master Bei Feng secretly regretted. If his attitude towards the new sect master was better, maybe he would also get a small gift. Hong Quangang tightly grasped the blue saber and poured his powerful golden immortal power into it. The saber body slightly moved, releasing a very strong aura, blue lightning and flame. This scene caused people to exclaim in amazement, Leader Honglong, can you show us this saber? I want to learn. An elder that Sangshuan's sect suddenly stepped forward. Elder Liang, you are from the inscription profound sect. Look at this saber. Could it be that you can refine it? Hong Quan Gang said with a smile. Then, he walked over and handed over the saber. Sect Master Sangshuan and several elders immediately crowded over, staring at the beautiful blue blade. After looking for a while, Elder Liang frowned and said, This saber seems to be broken. Oh, Hong Quan Gang frowned. It's broken? Yes, look at the surface of the blade. There is a crack. Elder Liang seemed to be very happy and said anxiously, Headmaster Hong Long, this is indeed a small gift. It is actually a broken saber. When Sect Leader Bei Feng heard this, he chuckled coldly and said, A meager gift is a meager gift. But isn't gifting such a broken saber a little too immoral? Floating Cloud Sect Master, you really have bad intentions. You're going to kill people by giving them such a broken weapon. Elder Liang angrily rebuked. Sect Master Hong Long has been good to your Floating Cloud sect and has protected you for many years, but you're gifting him a broken king-grade immortal saber? This broken saber is not even comparable to a low-grade immortal artifact. Sect Master Sangshuan sighed and said, Sect Master Fuyun, you shouldn't have deceived Headmaster Hong Long like this. You can't gift such a broken weapon to him for the sake of face. It is really harmful. A Sangshuan sect elder coldly snorted and said, The Xieyang race is a great enemy, and a fierce battle is about to break out at any time. Yet, you gift such a broken weapon to Headmaster Hong Long. Are you trying to kill him? Sect Master Fuyun, what else do you have to say? Quickly apologize to him. Hong Longshan's kindness is really unrequited. Sect Master Fuyun is young and impetuous. For the sake of face, he actually gave a broken saber to Headmaster Hong Long fortunately. Elder Liang saw through it. Sect Master Hong Long, from now on, you should cut all ties with Floating Cloud Sect. This kind of guy is not worthy of your protection. The people of Sangshuan Sect and North Wind Valley all criticized Qin Yun and loudly rebuked him. Hong Longshan's people didn't say anything because they didn't feel that there was anything wrong with it. Are you trying to drive a wedge between my Hong Longshan and Floating Cloud Sect? Hong Quan Gang laughed and said, Sect Master Fuyun just said that this is a meager gift. Even if it is broken, it is still a good saber. I don't dislike it. Why do you dislike it? Elder Liang shook his head and sighed. Sect Master Hong Long, if you use this saber to fight, it will be very dangerous. It will kill you. Qin Yun, who has been silent all this time, suddenly opened his mouth and said, My saber is indeed broken, but this saber is a bit special. After being refined, it can repair itself. You are still quibbling. Elder Liang angrily rebuked. I am the Inscription Profound sect. I have been immersed in the Inscription Tao for so many years. How can I not see whether this saber is good or bad? What self-repairing weapon? You are just making it up. Sect Master Fuyun, don't swindle people anymore. Sect Master Hong Long is very straightforward. That's why he didn't bicker with you. Yet you still want to continue deceiving him? Truly unrepentant. Sect Master Bei Feng furiously said. In fact, the people of Sangshuan Sect and North Wind Valley were very jealous that Hong Quan Gang obtained a good saber. Now that they have determined that the saber is broken, they are very happy. They gathered their anger on Qin Yun, trying to drive a wedge between Hong Longshan and Floating Cloud Sect. Qin Yun faintly smiled and said, Elder Liang, do you have a weapon in your hand? Do you dare to exchange one blow with that broken saber? Humph! Why wouldn't I dare? Old Liang sneered. Then he took out a long sword. He held the blue saber in one hand and the long sword in the other. Then he poured very strong golden immortal power into both his hands. Bang! Elder Liang let the saber and sword collide, creating a loud sound. After the sound, the saber and sword are both safe and sound. This caused everyone to burst into an uproar because they all know that Elder Liang is from Inscription Profound Sect. His weapon must be very good. But now, he is not able to destroy that broken saber. Elder Liang's face is filled with shock. He doesn't believe in heresy and increased his power, making the saber and sword collide even more fiercely. Bang, bang, bang. Enough, enough. Hong Guanggang promptly walked over and snatched the saber. He said with a smile, "This saber is very powerful. Sect Master Fuyun did not swindle me." Those people who criticized Qin Yun earlier have very unsightly expression because the saber is not as broken as they imagined. Kacha! The long sword in Elder Liang's hand suddenly shattered and fell to the ground. Everyone became absolutely silent. Elder Liang's sword was also a royal-grade celestial sword. However, after a few clashes, it had been broken by him. Moreover, he had broken it himself. Everyone can see that Elder Liang's heart is broken. The wrinkles on his old face are trembling. Elder Liang, restrain your grief and accept fate. Hong Guanggang patted Elder Liang's shoulder and comforted him. Elder Liang, you can tell that saber is very strong just by testing it. Why did you test it a few more times? Otherwise, your sword wouldn't have been broken. Qin Yun said with a sigh. That saber is really a broken king-grade immortal saber? Elder Liang's eyes are wide open. He doesn't dare to believe the saber in Hong Guanggang's hand. Of course not. I never said it was a king-grade immortal saber. It is a sacred saber. I picked it up by chance. Although it is broken, it is still not something a king-grade immortal tool can compare to. It is actually a sacred tool. Everyone is stunned. Even Hong Guanggang is extremely excited. His hand holding the saber is slightly trembling. Elder Liang's heart is filled with pain and anger. He believes that Qin Yun deliberately concealed the fact that the saber is a sacred saber. Otherwise, he would not have used his beloved immortal sword to fight against the sacred saber. A broken sacred saber is indeed much better than a king-grade immortal tool. After all, it is refined from saint-tier materials. This young man's cultivation is not high, yet he has a sacred tool. Moreover, he gave it away without any heartache. This caused Songshuan, Sect Master Bei Feng, and other elders to find it hard to believe. When Qin Yun attacked the Scarlet Massacre Holy City, he killed many sacred desolate warriors and also picked up some sacred tools. But because those sacred tools were hit by Sacred Flame Arrow of Annihilation and Nine Sun Divine Hammer, they were more or less damaged. Sacred Saber. This is something from Sacred Desolate. Hong Guanggang's eyes under his thick white eyebrows opened very wide. He said in astonishment, "No wonder I became so strong after pouring immortal power into it." Elder Liang is only from the Inscription Mysterious sect. It is understandable that he can't recognize a sacred tool. Sanshuan's sect master's eyes are incomparably red. He also couldn't tell that it is a sacred tool. Elder Liang is now feeling endless heartache. He also feels incomparably ashamed. He wishes he could find a hole to burrow into. Those people who loudly reprimanded Qin Yun earlier are acting as if nothing happened. Hong Guanggang laughed heartily and said, "Look at all of you. None of you are clear about the matter, and you are blaming Sect Master Fuyun. Little brother gave me his sacred saber. Even if it is broken, it is still much stronger than an immortal tool." Although those people are very thick-skinned, they are now blushing a bit. Qin Yun said with a smile, "Sect Master Hong Long, you should refine it more in the future. That saber will surely be restored to its original state. At that time, it will be a perfect and undamaged sacred saber." Hong Guanggang nodded and said, "As expected of a sacred tool, its ability is truly formidable. It can actually repair itself." Now, everyone believes that the saber can repair itself. After all, it is a sacred tool that can easily destroy Elder Liang's king-grade immortal sword. Sect Master Fuyun, you are from Immortal Desolate. What is the situation outside? We have not gone out for a long time. I heard that they are preparing to exterminate the world. Songshuan's sect master asked. It is a great era outside. Many people from Sacred Desolate have come. They have some sacred tier equipment in their hands. They dropped a lot of equipment when they fought with the enemy. I passed by and conveniently picked them up. All the seniors here are itching to immediately run to Immortal Desolate because it sounds like they are very easy to pick up. It seems like we should go out and take a stroll when we have time. Everyone, please come inside, Sanchuan Sect Master said with smile. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.